I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello.
Karl Pilkington. Steve, you got any other toilet-related anecdotes?
Rick, my life is just full of toilet trauma.
Yeah.
And Karl, you may not realise this, but a while back I used to host, this is bizarre, I used to host a radio show on the BBC World Service, right? Now, if you want someone who's the voice of integrity, the voice of intelligence, the voice of a nation, you're going to come to me. That's obvious. And I was broadcasting to, now they've got listeners of something like 50, 60 million people around the world. It's mental, the listenership of the World Service. And I used to host this show with someone else.
It's a big place, Steve.
The World?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And anyway, so I had to be into Bush House, where they broadcast from, 10 o'clock every Friday morning, to broadcast around the world to 50 million people, right? And one week, I went to the toilet in my house, right? Everyone had left. I got there a bit late. I got up a bit late. Already against me. The clock was already against me. Had to be there at 10 o'clock, broadcast around the world. And we got two toilets in our house, downstairs one, right? And the door had already been a bit dodgy. It was one of those doors where you had to give it a bit of a kick as you went in. It was getting a bit tight. I don't know what the wood was expanding or something. You know, I'm in there. And same thing again happens. No toilet paper. I think, oh, God, I'm going to have to somehow kind of make it upstairs.
Why don't you check first?
I normally do, Rick. I normally do. It's just on certain occasions when I'm bleary-eyed or something, I forget. Or occasionally I forget. Normally I do check.
Right.
And you've got to bear in mind that it's not like this is happening every week. This is over the course of many years that
Sure.
these incidents have accumulated. So
You've condensed them.
for the purposes of this anecdote.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. And great. You're just brilliant to keeping the pace up of an anecdote there, Rick. You've just drawn in. I don't know where I am now. Anyway, I know where I am. I'm trapped in a toilet with no toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's where I am. And I'm thinking maybe I peel off some of the wallpaper, you know, things like that. But there's nothing I can do. I got to go upstairs.
Newspaper.
Well, exactly. But I got to go upstairs and find
Toilet paper, was there any?
There wasn't.
There
sadly.
wasn't? Oh.
I'll have to go upstairs and maybe find a notepad or something like that. And so I try the door, right? The door's wedged, and I'm pulling on the door, and I can't get the door open. It's just like it won't come open. And it's already, and I knew it was going to come to this at some point. Like, this is like, the clock's ticking. I'm trying to pull the door open, trousers around my ankles again. And I'm thinking, well, what I could do is I could open the window, I suppose, and like try and climb out, but not really, because I got the trousers around the ankles. And that's
Or if it was raining, just stick your ass out, two birds with one stone.
Sadly, it was a beautiful day, Rick.
I call it the World B-Day.
And so what I'm thinking is, well, I got my mobile phone in there, luckily, because it's in my pocket. I'm thinking, well, maybe I could phone. I was seriously thinking,
Kleenex.
maybe I'll phone the fire brigade.
By this point, I mean, it just dried.
No, it hadn't. It was.
Hold on, was that little puppy not around? Because sometimes you can call that, it's got a little bit wrapped round it.
Listen.
Or
This is
just
a
use the
serious
puppy
issue.
itself.
There's 50 million people around the world going to need to hear my voice in like 30 minutes.
Exactly.
And
Where's Steve? He's not locked in the toilet again, is he?
Exactly.
Oh, no.
So I'm thinking about phoning the fire brigade, and I'm thinking,
Sure.
like, if I do that, it's gonna be the first call that goes straight on the speakerphone.
Yeah.
For like the entire fire brigade service.
With a
everywhere.
butch hero carrying you down over his shoulders with your trousers round your ankles. Can I
Exactly.
just not pull him up? No, you've got to be taught a lesson.
Yeah. But I imagine the idea of phoning up and going, hello there, I'm trapped in a room in my house. Oh yeah, which one is it? Oh, I
It's
don't
quite
need
small.
to know.
It's quite small.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not the toilet, is it? Because we don't want to come up and rescue someone who's trapped in the toilet.
Which
No.
service do you require? Paper?
So I think I can't phone the fire brigade. The clock's ticking. So then I think one of my housemates is still in the house, but still asleep. So I phone the house number. Right, phone rings and rings and rings for ages, and eventually he answers the phone. Right, gets out of bed, answers the phone. Yeah, hi, it's Steve. All right, what's wrong? I'm
What are you doing?
downstairs.
What are you doing? All right, yeah. Oh, I didn't wait. I don't know. What are you doing? Oh, just in the
I'm just
toilet.
downstairs in the toilet.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing? Oh, well, I've finished what I'm... Have you got any toilet paper?
Any bog roll.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of scrape together a few bits of paper, you know, and sort of tinfoil or whatever he could find in the house.
A cactus.
Come down
Oh, no.
pass it underneath the door, right? And then I said, "Can you move away from the door because I don't want you to hear me as I'm, you know, wiping the." And so
You
he
didn't
did
say that?
Yeah, well, I didn't want him to, you know. That's
What,
embarrassing.
sorry,
That's embarrassing.
What were you wiping it with? Not tumbleweed. What do you mean? What
No, but
noise?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right.
So then I say, right, can you smash?
Why was he hovering? Why didn't he want to walk away? Will you keep your what was it outside with a glass to his ear?
Yeah. Thankfully, there was a window in the door, but it was frosted glass. You could just see my semi-naked body moving around, and so eventually I said to him, "Look, listen, I'm going to need you to sort of kick the door in." He said, "Well, I don't want to kick the door in because you're going to have to pay for it, aren't we?" I go, "Yeah, but I got to go to the World Service. Well, yeah." And he was a lovely man. He's the weakest man you've ever come across. It's like if there's one person you don't want to have to throw their body weight against the door, it was him. It's like he'll snap before the door will. So he's smashing against
This
the door.
sounds like a fetish to me, though. He went in there, and there you were naked with lots of toilet paper. And you go, oh, you've broken the door down, and there I am naked. Again.
Oh, you've rumbled me, Rick. I wish I'd not told that embarrassing story on the radio. Like it wasn't embarrassing enough, you've just got to make it slightly more seedy.
Oh, so did he get it down?
He did it, yeah, and I got to the World Service with like minutes to spare.
Oh.
And interestingly, I told that story to 50 million people around the
You're
world.
joking.
Yeah,
Did they understand?
I think so.
What? I mean, is that a bit of a problem when you're on the Will Service? Like, thinking of things that everyone can understand?
Yes.
Because you can't.
It's a bit
just
like
talk
when
about-
talking
Yeah,
to you, Karl.
yeah, exactly, Karl. I think you're on thin ice there, worrying about people understanding what you're saying.
No, but you can't talk about stuff that's on the telly and that, because some people say, well, we haven't even got a telly here.
Oh, yeah, you're listening to XFM 104.9. Play a record. Varna, all apologies on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously, with me, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Well, Steve, I met up with. I know it's forbidden, usually.
I don't know why you
Let me
keep
just
doing
explain to the listener. Me and Steve have got a little bit of a pact. We're not allowed to talk to Karl during the week because he comes out with too much dynamite, and we want it to be fresh, and it's just unfair. And if he sees us laughing, he clams up a little bit because he knows something's wrong with his head. So I was in a pub, and Karl called. He was returning a call. I'd called you earlier, and I said, "Oh, I'm just across the road. Come over." And he came over, and we had a conversation. And I kept saying, "No, save it." And I can't remember half the things he was saying, but I do remember one thing he said. He said that the human eye never grows. He said, unlike your ears and nose that keeps growing all your life, he says the human eye never grows. Now, there's a little bit of... He says, no, you look at a baby, it's got big eyes. It's got the same size eyes as it will have.
When
it's
a
never-
baby's born, everyone always goes, oh, look at its eyes, don't they? Because that's like the main feature. They're quite big. They don't grow, they don't get any smaller, they stay the same size.
What you mean, once you become an adult, you've the same sized
No.
eyes?
Soon as you come out of the womb, your eyes, the size they are as a little baby, they stay the same size. It's
Until
just
you
like the
die.
sockets.
And I pointed out to him, right, I said, if that was true, Steve Merchant, when he was a baby, with these eyes he's got now, would have looked like a hammerhead shark.
All right, calm down. You don't want to go lay into the eyes.
Do you know what I mean? Just to prove my point.
I didn't laugh when
Good.
he said that.
Respect.
Do you know what I mean, though? Imagine...
I've got the eyes are the windows of the soul, and mine they happen to be enormous
French
plate glass
windows.
windows. Yeah. But nevertheless, they're beautiful. Many people find them beautiful.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, many people do. But
Do you know they don't have kneecaps either?
My eyes, or
what?
Babies. when they're born, they don't get kneecaps until they're about 2.
they don't get knees.
Is that true?
Yeah. And
yeah,
also,
it
What are you
might be
talking
true,
about,
it might
Karl?
be
That's,
true.
but isn't it a little bone? It's part of the.
Well, no, but all
the leg bone.
you've got lot more bones when you're born than
yeah, you got
eventually.
300 when you're born, then 205 when you're an adult.
Yeah, they all fuse, don't they?
Do they?
The head's got to be all soft to come out.
Right.
As we said earlier,
I would know. I'm a shark.
Oh,
So
God.
what did you say when he said about my eyes being huge? as a kid?
Okay, get off it.
So that isn't nice, considering
Yeah.
he's not here.
Yeah,
So I
talking about
wait
it
until
behind
he's
my back.
here when I slag him off.
Yeah. Very well. No, nice one, Karl. You're an honourable man.
Oh, well, I know, you see, the thing is, right, that made me think that it might be a little bit of truth in this.
There is as well,
that-
the ear thing. Have you seen that with old
That's
men
true,
who have
yeah.
really long ears
Yeah,
and big noses?
yeah.
You mean
do
they're-
they eat buns and walk around in the jungle, these
I don't
old
understand.
men?
You mean that the ears and the nose carry on growing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, that's true. That's true, it's cartilage.
Yeah, but it's not like sort of Pinocchio.
No, after you're dead. You leave a body lying around, he's got a huge elephant type
Really?
ears.
If you left him long enough?
4-foot nose, that's what, yeah.
Incredible.
No,
remarkable.
but it's about the focal length in your eye, you see, because it's like a big lens. So it makes sense that they couldn't change that much. Because an owl, do you know why an owl turns its head round? Sort of like 180 degrees.
No.
Because it can't move its eyes, because the eyes take up the whole... It's the biggest eye in the animal kingdom. The eyes take up the whole of its skull.
Really?
Yeah, and it has to move its... Yeah.
Has it got a brain in there as well?
It's got a brain in there, yeah, above the eye, yeah. When I say the whole of the skull...
Quite, yeah. There's also some space for the brain.
What I meant is the two diameters of the eye is the diameter of the...
You've lost me
skull.
there with diameters. And
You didn't like maths, did you?
don't like maths. Never understood it. Couldn't get to grips with maths. I don't know about you, Karl.
Did you do maths, Karl?
Now, how did you do in your exams on the maths? Did you turn up? I bet yours was rather like my theory, which is why do you need to figure it all out when you've got a calculator?
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
I agree.
Well, let's play a record, and afterwards I'm going to be testing you on your homework this week, Karl.
Could we do White Van Man first?
We could do... Oh, just to... No, they've got to know
just to
what
remind
they're
people-
dealing with, yeah. Karl's homework was to read all about, as you know, Che Guevara.
Absolutely.
Last week he did well on Rasputin, didn't he?
Did very well on Rasputin. Yeah,
and
passed with flying marks there.
So let's have a bit of Wu-Tang, shall we?
Then let's have White Van
Karl.
Man. White Van Karl. Nice.
Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan there, Steve. XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Now, I just reminded something else Karl's in the week. I know it's forbidden to talk to him, but I'll tell you this. He was very excited about the Friends reunited. He was a bit nervous at first, wasn't he, last week? But then he was really getting into it. And in the pub he was talking about the people, and he said, I'd never go on a reunion, though. He said, I'd never do that.
What, a school reunion?
Yeah, and he wouldn't want to see anyone. And I went, well, I said, wouldn't you want to see those two lads with the big heads and the webbed hands?
Oh, yeah, these were people you went to school with, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't knock about with them. They were in the class.
What were they called?
Freaks.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And he said, no, I wouldn't want to see them. He said, because what could you say? Oh, you haven't changed much, right? And he said, and they wouldn't go anyway, would they? I said, why? He went, well, they didn't have any friends.
Right.
And I said, well, weren't they friends with each other? And he went, no, that would have been too obvious. Like, they passed each other and went, no, I know it's tempting, but let's not.
Everyone would think that's just what we were going to do. Let's not do it.
Yeah. So they didn't even hang around with each other.
No.
See, I must say, in my head, I've got something like it's like some sort of extra thing from Blake 7 that they're like some sort of lagoon monster, but they just had slightly oversized heads, did they?
See, does your head grow? Your eyes don't. Does your head? Because maybe they've got to a point now that it's all sort of caught up with each other.
Well, at the time, the eyes were very small and the head was huge.
Just a very big head. And
Yeah.
the fingers aren't going to change. That's not.
They had
Not funny.
webbed fingers.
It was like the penguin in Batman.
Really? Are you sure?
No, honestly.
Are you sure they weren't wearing mittens?
No, seriously.
Yeah, it wasn't home economics. They weren't getting something out of the oven, a very hot dish, were they? Every time you saw them.
But why were there two, but they weren't related and they weren't friends?
I don't know. I suppose it's like asthma and that, innit? Some kids have it. And it just was a
Yeah,
coincidence.
but asthma's quite a common thing. Webbed hands, Karl.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't think of it, do you, when you're a kid? You just sort of...
Oh,
when,
yeah,
when you first see them.
Yeah.
There goes the frogmen. Anyway, Karl, look, let's have a little quick session of White Van Man. For those that don't listen to the show regularly, the Sun, as you may know, has a section called White Van Man where a member of the public gets asked their opinions on the week's big political and social hot potatoes. Karl, we just thought it would be fun if you answered some of the questions. It's not so much questions, it's just your views really on these big news stories. What do you make of Olympic ski hero Alan Baxter testing positive for drugs?
What did he do?
Well, he won a gold medal in the Olympics, and
For what?
he was a skier,
Right.
and he won gold medal, and they've just tested him positive for some kind of illegal drug.
But what... if he did, why take drugs to ski?
Why?
Because all you do is balance.
But imagine, it'd be amazing if you were stoned, like going down a hill.
Yeah, it's not like you have
But
to...
it's not going to help you, is
No,
it?
it's
not
just
like...
gravity that's doing all the work, isn't it, with skiing?
Yeah, but it's often to do with your athleticism, isn't it? It's to
No, but
help
it'd be
you-
like saying, and we've just found out the people on the toboggan were on crack. It's not going to help them. You sit there and you go with the flow.
Yeah,
And
could
you hold
I
on.
say, the drugs he was
Apparently
taking...
that's his defence,
Probably,
Karl.
he probably wasn't jacking up H or, dropping a few E's or getting stoned. He was probably taking more sort of
Steroids.
performance-enhancing drugs, as opposed to him just, scoring some shit around the corner from someone,
that
getting
doesn't-
off his tits and jumping in a toboggan. Doesn't mean that, does it?
He wasn't off his nut.
Yeah. You tested you. You pissed out your head.
But why doesn't he just say, don't be stupid, why would I do that? It's just not going to help me out.
But it is, isn't it? Because performance-enhancing
Hold on,
drugs do.
wait a minute, Steve. Wait a minute, Karl. Right, look at this way. Okay, look at me. Yeah, have I got his attention?
Yeah, the lights glinting off your ring there.
Yeah.
You're attracted to him.
Okay, right. Now keep concentrating. Right. Some athletes, you're aware they take drugs. That's to build up
Swimmers
muscle.
and stuff.
Yeah, swimmers. For
Runners.
example. Runners. Yeah. Not only do they help build muscle, right, but they can actually, give them a boost performance-wise,
Yeah.
sort of like steroids and all this sort of stuff. Right? So that's the sort of thing we're talking about. Okay.
Right, so again...
He wasn't
why
on a bong
would that help
before.
you?
What?
Why would that help you when all you've got to do is balance on skis?
Not when you're at the Olympic level.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with, your body and your
No,
legs.
it's practice, isn't it? It's like, if you've skied for years, then you've got good balance after a bit.
Oh, do you know what, Karl? Do you know what? You've made a mockery of drug taking. Well done. Right, next one, Steve.
I hate this bit. I hate this.
I don't know if you saw it. What did you make of Posh Spice's Warts and All documentary?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
What did you make of it?
I mean, people are slagging them off, aren't they? Saying, she's daft and that, but
Don't make you.
she's. I think they're all right, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're all right.
She's all right. I mean, I think David's really a decent bloke.
Sure.
Would
you agree that he's quite a simple man?
Yeah, but he's a footballer. He doesn't need to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like me.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I only got an E in history. Sure. But knowing about the Tudors doesn't help me press these buttons and put the next CD on.
No, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, good luck to him, and he's done well out of it, and it's just jealousy.
Yeah.
I remember, though, when I was back in Manchester, I was in Piccadilly train station, and he was there, right? Not as big a star as he is now, back then, but he was stood there, and I was so close to going over to him and saying, "Did you go to my school?" Because I recognised his face, but I didn't know who he was. Do you know when you sort of go, "Sure, I went to school. It's not the one with the big head."
Yeah.
But I do recognise him. Then my girlfriend got off the train, and I said, "I'm sure I know him." She said, "Yeah, it's David Beckham." And I was so
thank
close.
God
to
for your
going over.
girlfriend. Does she get an awful lot of scrapes, does she?
She does, yeah.
Okay, what about the fact that the pension crisis is going to force Britons to work into their 70s, Karl? You might have to carry on working into your 70s before you can claim a pension.
I think it's a good thing. Because you see a lot of old people who look bored.
Okay.
And I honestly think if you keep your brain busy, you'll live longer.
Yeah.
It's only when you actually shut down, right, that's when your body sort of dies because it doesn't feel it has a purpose. Yeah. It's like if you've got flu, keep going to work. If you have a day off, you just feel worse. You'll mope about at home. It doesn't do you any good.
What about
whatsoever.
where do you draw the line there? What if you say lose a finger? Pop into work?
Depends. If you can't concentrate because it's painful.
But what if you're a typist?
You're not going to type as many words, but you'll do more at work than you would having a day off at home.
Sure. Okay. Tony Blair turning trendy with his Paul Smith designed naked lady shirt. I don't know if you've seen this. It's the one with the pictures of naked ladies on the cuffs.
And, I mean...
Okay. And finally...
you see, this is what annoys me about this feature. It's just, what's that? So what?
Yeah, but it's the Prime Minister of this country wearing a trendy shirt with naked ladies on the cuffs.
All right.
Okay. And finally, what do you make of the fact that Top of the Pops have banned Will Young singing both tracks on the #1 slot, and consequently he wasn't on there at all? They had to show the video. The first time anyone's ever made this demand. He wants to sing both the A and B side.
Well, he can't.
It's double A, yeah.
Double A side.
That's what they wanted to...
That isn't how it works, is it?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And the thing is, which one... I mean, at the end of the day, loads of people have bought it, haven't they? Isn't it like one of the best? So it doesn't really matter what it does, because people have got it. They can listen to what song they want at home. Doesn't matter about what Top of the Pops do.
Yes.
And it's just annoyed me now. It's...
Who's annoyed you?
Just what goes on in the world. I'll tell you, you're better off not knowing. It's better being in my little world. If that's what people are talking about on the streets and asking the white van man, do you know what I mean?
I think you're right, Karl. I think you're right.
Jeez.
Shall I play a lovely song for you? Because you're getting all stressed now, aren't you?
I've not had a good day.
No, I know. We tell you about it later. It's not having a good day. Well, I'm going to play a Neil Young track here of Harvest. It's Alabama. It's beautiful, and this is for Karl. Athlete, West Side. I still like that one.
It's a good track.
Yeah, I was worried it's a bit novelty. It would go off very quickly, but it's good.
No, it's not bad at all.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve.
Well, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details. But what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, when he came back and Tony Blair met him and go, all right, well, not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, if there was people shooting at us and everything, it was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy! This
he's
gun's
got
not
a
clean."
train,
I
hasn't
just
he?
cleaned the gun and it was fine, and now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, the boots, they were shiny.
fine, he was
Well, he's
showing.
got to do that. It's more
His
discipline.
neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they,
I don't know what the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, going over to the Falklands or the Gulf, I'd put my hand and go, will it be horrible? I go, you hit the back, yes. Will it be horrible? It will be horrible. Yes, it will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right. I'm not going to go. And they go,
Exactly.
okay then. Okay.
that should be fine. Yeah.
Should be fine. Yeah, just like that. Is anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
Exactly.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job, and my dad said, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son. You're going in the army. And, so when was the Falklands? Was it about
81?
Right, and he joined back in like 81 or something. And I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote.
What bad time to join? That's so sweet, Karl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad. Yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining. A month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
My mum called up, spoke to the sergeant, and said, "Can you leave him out of this one?
Can you leave him out of this one? What, the Falkland War?
He's only just joined," and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like, she's one of them, I think it's a northern thing, like saying, "How are you, Chuck?"
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to my brother, "Your mum, she's called up and asked if you can not go," which, of course, we'll see how it goes. But can
What?
you tell
What
her,
do you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her, because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
probably because he was new.
What?
Because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I mean the
your brother.
sergeant.
I don't know, maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go, no.
You can't do it.
But that's ludicrous.
I love it. We went over the top. Pilkington,
No,
I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay. No, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army. I don't want to go and fight. And it's crossed out and it's good. My mum says don't
Yeah.
go. Now, you didn't write this yourself.
No,
did you,
my mum
Pilkington?
wrote this. Okay.
You definitely wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go, but I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said, oh.
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh no.
But were the other soldiers going around just going,
Pilkington.
No, he ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
what?
Now, wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops
Yeah.
in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Karl. You've
Honest to
made that up.
God. That, and he went off with the sergeant's wife. So that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, go and let him up, and he goes, oh God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is... No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time. This
Wow.
is ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was sleeping with his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was
Did
quite
your
young.
mum phone up and say, let him off?
Let him off this
marshal him.
time. Can he... Yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years. But ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, people slag it off. But I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for
It
you.
didn't straighten him out, did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank, he was shagging someone
No,
behind
but
their
it's
back.
Yeah.
really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult, and he had a house, and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No,
Has he got the crystal?
don't think he has.
And he hasn't got the
I
house.
seriously haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years.
Oh,
So I haven't even spoken
It
to
always
him.
Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Karl to the phone in if you think I should take Karl to the vet and have him put down? Because it's just too stressful. Main offender, XFM 104.9. Wow. It's that time in the show where I test Karl on his...
homework.
Yeah, for the week. History. The re-education of Karl Pilkington. As you know, we found out last week that he'd taken one GCSE and he'd got an E, and it was history.
Do you know, Steve, I haven't told you this, went shopping on Sunday, buy some new jeans. Was in a shop, saw an old lad who I haven't seen for about 2.5 years. Went, "You alright, mate? How are you doing?" First thing he said, "Sorry to hear about your exam results."
God. Had he listened to the show, or someone had just told him?
Yeah, he was on a train listening to it on our way to a football match or something.
He knew that you were on the show, did he? He was a regular listener.
First thing he said,
Wow.
"So sorry about your exam results."
Haven't people have been coming up to you in the station going, "You all right?
right.
Do you want to talk about it?" Or
God.
I know.
well, you did take it pretty badly for a 29-year-old man.
Just a bit of a shock, because it annoyed me that...
It wasn't a shock. You knew you hadn't got any.
No, I thought I'd have got a bit more than that. I wasn't expecting, you know...
But you didn't even think you took history, so that must have been a bonus.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend said.
Yeah.
So, well,
But didn't she say something quite philosophical, which was like, you didn't even have an E this morning?
Yeah, she said yesterday, you didn't have anything today,
Exactly.
which was good.
Yeah.
Mm.
But anyway.
Anyway, okay then, well, you were tested on Che Guevara. Right, Karl.
We should just remind people what happened, because
This is a little series. I've got lots of these little books, right? They're about like 2.5 inches long by about 2 inches wide. Those tiny little things you see in the sort of on the front counter of Waterstones or Smiths, and it's the Life and Times. It's a series of all the greats in history. Last week you read about Rasputin. You wasn't impressed.
No.
This
This
week,
book's a little bit thicker than the Rasputin one.
no, it's the same. I think was it? Maybe the writing's
Figure
smaller.
writing or something.
But okay, Che Guevara. Who was Che Guevara? Just now, you learnt to pronounce it, right? And how do you remember? You told me the week how you remembered what his name was.
Che is like shake, and his surname is like guitar.
Right.
Chavar.
Okay.
But anyway, right.
Tell us what you know, and we'll ask.
Right. First of all, his name isn't really Che.
Right.
It was something else, and Che means buddy.
Okay.
In wherever he's from, Argentina.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, so anyway, he was born, and he was...
By the way, Karl's not reading this from a book now. This is all out of his own head.
This is not pre-planned notes.
No, this is. I mean, I know it sounds written, but he's just ripping on this.
Here we go.
Go on.
He was born, he had bad asthma as a kid.
Right.
Which I thought was quite interesting, because they didn't have cars and that back then, and that's what they're blaming asthma on these days. The bad build-up of traffic and that.
Well, they did have cars, Karl.
Not as many as they have now.
Okay.
So that was something I picked up early in the story.
He had asthma. Yeah.
His dad was into he wasn't a politician or anything, but he was, they were into the politics.
Sure.
So he sort of grew up around a family who was into, watching the news and that, and keeping up to date on what's going on in the world. So that sort of rubbed off on him. He went to school. He was doing stuff on medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be a doctor, or he thought he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, he learned really quick. He did like 6 months' work in about 3 months, so he could have some time off school or something.
Right.
So he took that time off and went to travel South America with his mate on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he saw all this bad going on in the world, and he thought, "Oh, this is bad. This,
yeah,
I could do something here. I could change this, make it a nicer place to live." So he said, "What I'm going to do is join a gang that sort of is against the like the government."
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Am I right so far?
Yeah.
You're doing very well.
Right. And the woman who he met, who was like running this gang, is a woman called Hilda, who he later married.
All right.
And Hilda introduced him to Castro,
Right.
who was like the head cheese of the gang, who wanted to change things.
Okay.
And so she said, like, this is I think his real name was Engelbert or something like that.
Ernesto.
What?
Ernesto.
She said, "This is Ernesto. He does medicine. Should have him in our sort of army. So when there's injuries and that, he can make people better."
Yeah.
So he said, "Yeah, all right then." So he joined the gang, and they went like went to sort of. I'm chopping it down a bit.
No.
Oh, sure. You're condensing.
It's not in real time.
No.
So anyway, so they go.
It feels like it.
You see, this is why I just wanted you to ask me questions.
Well, listen, let's cut to the chase then. So, obviously, he made his name as part of the Cuban Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what date that was?
About. No, I don't.
Okay. And obviously, so he was had a big involvement in that.
Yeah.
In which country was he caught?
It was caught in Bolivia.
Yeah. How did he die?
They executed him.
Yeah.
They shot him, and his last words before he died, right? The guy's there with the gun, and he wasn't scared. He wasn't like crying or anything. He said to the bloke with the gun, he said, "Go on, shoot me. Be a man."
Yeah.
He said,
yeah.
And they shot him.
And did it tell you what happened to him after that? His dead body?
No, but Suzanne was telling me about this the other night. She said there's more to it than that. They stuck it in a glass coffin, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, no, but before that, they cut off his hands and his feet
and sent them to the.
No, and because they buried him in different places, and then they buried the body. I think they might have sent the hands to Fidel, but they buried him in an unmarked grave because they didn't want anyone to start using his grave or his tomb as a place of martyrdom. But of course, that just made him even more of a martyr because no one knew where he was buried. So it just meant that he was even more of a. Yeah, but that
wouldn't work anyway, because if they did find out, that's more places people can go and sort of grieve. Do you know what I mean? If you've got all these different graves...
What, with different parts of his body?
Well, you've got a foot over there, and it's like, well, you know, oh, God.
His head over there.
Thanks for what you're doing.
You piece of genius.
Yeah.
So all in all...
essentially, what's your summary of Che?
Yeah, you like him more than Rasputin, don't you?
A lot better bloke than Rasputin. I can understand why he gets one of those little books. Well worth knowing about, and good bloke. Did a lot, you know.
Crammed a lot into his short life.
Yeah. But, interesting bloke.
But just on the subject of Che Guevara, Steve called me up in the week because he was going through the duty log. We love the complaints on the BBC duty log, and someone had written in because one of the Blue Peter presenters was wearing a Che Guevara T-shirt, and what did the bloke say? Yeah,
this is a series of people can phone in and write and complain to the BBC about different things.
Why would you complain about wearing something?
Well, this was the thing. Is you complain about the best. I mean, there's been some amazing complaints.
Oh, there's some great ones.
The best one, my favourite one that wasn't a complaint but was actually just someone had to phone in was what an excellent edition of Kilroy this morning.
Yeah, but there's lots of that. There's things like Esther was superb. Yeah. Woman call one.
Woman called. There was a brilliant one I remember once, which was Robbie Williams was wearing a Nike T-shirt on Top of the Pops last night. Product placement on the BBC.
It's just all things like that. Yeah.
But anyway, this was one phone call. There was a presenter on Blue Peter. She was wearing a T-shirt with Che Guevara's face on it.
Right.
And someone had written in and said, or someone had phoned in and said, very worried to see a presenter wearing Che Guevara's face on a T-shirt. Are you trying to turn my children into communist revolutionaries?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine who's thinking that. Who's bothering to phone up with that information, Karl?
Yeah.
Who knows what they're going to say about this show?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been championing the work of communist revolution.
Luckily, no one listening to this show can either write or operate a phone. So I think we're pretty safe. So thumbs up, Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Well done to Karl there.
Yeah, no, I thought it was
I did
brilliant.
all right, didn't I?
But the thing is, you keep saying to us you don't understand why history's interesting, and yet you're clearly interested by that. You remembered that
Karl,
information.
I've got another. Yeah. I've got a few in the series. Can I give you your next week's homework?
Go on.
There you go.
Oh.
Read it out.
Hitler,
the life and times of Hitler.
1889 to 1945.
Yeah.
Do you know much about him?
What's the significance of that last date? Why did he? What's the thing with that last date, Karl? Why do you think he died in 1945?
End of the war.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested in. So this will have stuff about Anderson shelters and that.
It might not be covered in the Hitler biography, the Anderson shelter, but
just check if there's a special Anderson chapter, Anderson shelter chapter.
Well, I'll look forward to this.
Yeah,
be interesting.
Powdered Egg is page 4.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're going to play a hip hop.
Yeah, it's time for a hip hop hooray. People are absolutely in love with this feature, Rick, as you well know, and I know you're somewhat jealous of it.
Yeah.
This week, I know that Outkast are currently on the playlist, aren't they, with their new single "Whole of the World"? Is that all? The Whole World? Anyway, this is a track from the big compilation Outkast. It's just a sort of compilation of all their greatest hits, and this is a good one. It's called Rosa Parks. Play it, Karl.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Now we just had a call from someone impressed by Karl, and Karl's very pleased because this guy has actually done a PhD on Che Guevara. So in theory, whatever subject he chose, in theory, he's probably one of the experts in the world on this particular field. Now, hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's David.
David, now where did you do your PhD?
Did it at UCL.
Did it at UCL, my old college. And what was the actual title of the PhD?
It was Che Guevara's influence on class struggle in Europe in the 60s.
And what did you think of Karl's performance?
I thought he did really, really well. The only thing, I'd never heard those last words before.
So Karl actually knows something you don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Although you presumably not take that as verified information. You probably wouldn't take everything Karl said as gospel. You'd probably look it up yourself, would you?
I probably would have a look, yeah.
Did you know about baby's eyes?
Sorry?
Did you know that baby's eyes don't grow?
I didn't know that.
You see, that's why you shouldn't take things Karl says as gospel. Because it come out with something, vaguely intelligent, and then say, "Did you know about baby's eyes don't grow?"
Any questions that you'd want to test Karl on? Any thoughts? Any things he missed there on the history of Che Guevara?
I think he did really well, and I think he should be congratulated.
Because Karl has problems with understanding why people are interested in history, and even though he's been reading these books, he keeps saying, "Why does anyone care about history? Why is it important?" What would you say to Karl?
I think he should maybe then look at who Che Guevara did influence and why he still influences people today.
Yeah. Well, he knows that he influenced Citizen Smith, and he knows that if McDonald's ever wanted to swap Ronald McDonald for Che Guevara, it would cost him an awful lot of money. So he is trying to apply it to the modern world. He is having a go.
Well, maybe you should think like why Rage Against the Machine have him on their T-shirts.
Good point, Karl. Why do you think of that? Why do you think they have him on the T-shirts, Karl?
I don't know. Maybe that was the design of the T-shirt. Maybe they wanted another T-shirt.
Maybe they wanted Ronald McDonald,
but didn't have any in.
Sure.
And they said, "Oh, we'll have that one there." Then.
Well, thanks very much, Dave. Just before you go, do you think Karl would be an interesting subject for a PhD?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're not.
Well, hopefully one day you'll become a professor, and you can maybe set that as some coursework.
I could do, yeah.
Karl Pilkington. Imagine that.
Cheers, Dave.
Having an MA in Karl Pilkington. Thanks very much, Dave.
Okay, bye.
Cheers, bye.
That's good. My teachers never did that.
What encouraged you in that way?
Never said well done. So,
Really?
Yeah.
But you never showed up.
Yeah, you have to be in the same room.
They were too
really.
busy saying, "Who are you?"
yeah.
No, but Mrs. Matthews, me head teacher.
Oh, let's not lay into Matthews again. She's
Oh,
always getting a
not Matty
She
Matthews,
said
not
I'd
Grimble Matty Matthews.
I'd
we used to call
never
her.
be a high flyer.
If she could see you now. What did she say? You'll never be a high flyer?
She said that to me, mum and dad,
Really?
on a parents' evening.
And
that was after I'd played the drums in Little Donkey.
She clearly didn't know what she was talking about. With a pinch of salt.
REM with Orange Crush on XFM 104.9. Well, nearly through, only 20 minutes to go. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve and Karl. Karl, what did you point to me then?
Just reminded me.
Go on.
Orange Crush. Do you know we were talking the other night about contraceptives?
No, you said to me, I've got to do lots of homework. You look up how they used, in the olden days, how they used to use elephant dung as a contraceptive. And I went, what? And he went, no, look it up. You give me those things. I said, I don't know. Was it they put, when you're running around with dung on the end of your knob, no woman really wants to go near it. Is that how it worked? And he went, come on, you give me things to do.
If you've just written a PhD on how to use elephant dung as a contraceptive, please get in touch.
And
I will give the number in a minute.
It's not elephant, it was crocodile.
Oh, right.
Why?
But, yeah, Orange
Sorry,
Crush.
no, you can't. No, whoa.
What?
Back. What do you mean? It was crocodile dung. How did they use crocodile dung as a contraceptive?
I don't know.
Right, go on, Orange Crush, yeah.
So Orange Crush, what it was, I was trying to look up that thing about crocodile stuff, using it, and I came up with another one saying that they used to use a lemon, sort of shaped right, and the put it on, and the citric acid in it would kill the sperm.
Right.
So they would wear the lemon on the end of the knob.
Was that erotic?
It worked.
Listen, I'll try anything, Karl, mate. If that works.
yeah.
If the ladies like that. I mean, could it be anything? Could it be like, a melon?
Kumquat?
Yeah, maybe. In my case.
What's those hairy ones?
Yeah.
Anyway, it just reminded me when Orange Crush.
Well, thanks very much for that, Karl. It's and that I didn't even ask him to.
No.
Research that.
No.
He just...
So Orange Crush reminded you of the lemon contraceptive. Okay. Jolly good.
You could use it as a little lemon squeezer, couldn't you? It could be like a novelty lemon squeezer. You just stand in the kitchen, and then when someone wants to just come along and go on the end of your...
Did you make this lemonade yourself?
I did. It tastes funny. It tastes funny. Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Would you, Karl, this is a quick question to you. Would you ever sort of find yourself in a situation where you might confuse a woman's breasts with mountains? Is that a concern for you, do you think?
No.
Not a problem for you?
Well, not if they're small and humble, I wouldn't.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what, fingers crossed.
If they were small and humble, then I'd pretty much not confuse them with mountains.
Thank God. But I mean, if they were large and sort of pendulous.
And with, like quite rocky with snow on top.
Exactly.
Then I'd go, hold on, love.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, love. I was into this, but now
Exactly.
I feel like I'm alone.
Carl, do you know what we're talking about?
Who has done that?
I'll give you a
what?
clue. One more time. See, my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains. Shakira. It's a lyric that me and
taking
Steve
the
are
nation
obsessed
by
with.
storm.
It's quite a nice song. It's got another...
It's very much like, it sounds a bit like Men at Work Down Under.
Yeah, it's got the panpipes.
Is this what's its kid?
Who?
Julio Iglesias.
No, it's Shakira. Consequently, the word Shakira there being mentioned.
I haven't heard of him.
Okay. She's a big Latin star, apparently, big Latin American star. And anyway, just sing it again for us.
See, my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains. Which is a concern. It was always a concern.
Definitely.
Actually, a number of times she's woken up and there's been a fat bloke with a beard and a little Sherpa. She goes, "What are you doing?" And they go, "We're just trying to climb this map." Look again. Oh, sorry, love.
Oh, it's your tits. I didn't
Oh, your
realise.
tits. We thought we were in.
I can't believe
K2.
it.
I can't. Well, can we camp here? You can't camp on my tits for the night. No.
Well, why are you climbing them?
Well, I just
'Cause
got
they were there.
confused. Well, they're small and humble. Are you mental? Look at Karl. I love that look at Karl. Karl is looking back and forth. You know when you sort of you go to a cat and it looks back and forth between two people. That's very much like Karl's looking at us now.
Or when, like, a child sees a midget or something in the street. They're just transfixed, aren't they? And the parents go, don't stare.
When we were pushing Ash, just our producers, in a wheelchair, and we were pushing
He's
through
not
the
a
VC.
midget, we should make
No,
that
he's not a
clear.
little midget. He's not tall. But we were pushing him through the VC, and this little kid just came up and just stood in front of him and looked at him.
Yeah.
I just laughed.
It was funny. Do you do that? I imagine that you get caught staring at things.
Yeah,
Carl.
do you go up to people with problems and go, "Mummy, is that a monster?"
Well, I was telling you one about when I used to go with my dad in the taxi.
Oh yeah,
What
tell us
happened?
this story.
Well,
Your father was a taxi driver?
my dad he had loads of jobs, which they did back then. And they don't do that anymore, do they? People they don't sort
Have
of
a
do
variety of
loads
jobs?
stuff.
Sure.
But at one point, he had a black cab, and I used to go with him. Used to get a beer crate and put it in the front of the black cab, and sort of sit just next to the
Comfortable.
meter. And anyway, we got this call, and like the guy on the end of the radio said, "Oh, you've got your son with you, haven't you?" So he said, "Yeah." So it's just like, we've got to pick up at number 11 Village Lane or whatever. And he said, "All right." And it was this woman. It was like a woman version of the Elephant Man.
Wow. The Elephant Woman.
Yeah, it looked like... it looked like... It was really strange, because I was in the front of the cab, and when you're a kid, if something looks odd, you're a bit scared of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Look, it'll be all right." And we're driving towards
Just
her.
look, don't worry, son. I've got loads of buns.
And just to
I
give
think I'll
you-
just throw one down the street if you run after
You're
it.
being mean, right?
I am a little bit.
So
Yeah.
how old were you? 18?
No, I was about 12 or something like that. 11, 12. And as we got closer to her, it looked like she was holding like a bag of spuds on her shoulder,
For a snack.
Right.
and her head was all a bit mangled and messy and that. And my dad said, "Whatever you do, don't stare at her face."
Yeah.
And she got in the
Because you
back.
turn into stone.
She got in the back, and I had like the mirror, the driver's mirror thing, and sort of having a look, trying to work out. And he said, "Don't stare at her face." I couldn't work out where her face was. It was that weird.
Oh God.
So I'm not sure you're from Manchester. I think you're from, like, Narnia or something.
Yeah, you got frog boys walking
yeah,
around.
the Lord
with,
of the Rings.
That got like the claws of a lobster and the head of a toad.
Yeah.
And you got women getting in with spuds for heads. I mean, what
This is
sort
not
of, what
Manchester.
is
This is not the place
place?
you grew up. This is
Yeah.
mad.
Oh, you can't believe it in London, can you? You come down and you go, look, symmetry. It must be amazing.
It must be a thing to do with upbringing, though, mustn't it? And because again, do you know how I've said to you before? Years ago, when I was a kid and didn't have any worries, good-looking lad, you go through it a bit, have a few more worries, and you look knackered. Now, back there's a lot more worries and stuff, so you get a lot more freaks. Whereas in London, everyone's like happy, aren't they? Got
I
loads
love
of
the
money.
fact that stress can cause your fingers to fuse and your head
Yeah.
to grow.
No, but if
She
like,
must have been really stressed to have a head.
Yeah, yeah. She what
Bag of
was
sluts.
was she an accountant or something?
you know what I mean.
But what? But what did she do? What did she say?
Where
when
was she
got
going,
in?
by the way?
She couldn't speak.
London Zoo, please.
I think she was going to like a
the
pet
fair.
shop. Seriously, honest to God. On my mum's life, she was. Because at the end of the day, that's a good thing with animals. They don't judge you, do they?
She's not
She was an animal. She's a human being.
She's not actually an elephant.
No, but
You know the elephant man was not actually an elephant. You understand that? He's got no elephant genes in him at all.
No.
That was just a cruel name people gave him.
Yeah.
No, it's the name of the disease, isn't it? Elephantitis.
Look, so listen. So this woman, why was she going to a pet shop?
She was going to a pet shop. What, to find a husband?
Is this true?
No, it is true, yeah.
Oh,
But
God.
I'm not taking the mickey because it must be
So,
really bad for
Of
you.
course it
But
is.
Karl, I
we
need to
haven't.
ask.
I'm going on to you today about cutting myself shaving.
Yeah.
I was going on about that. To think that she's probably not alive now, but to think,
But you're saying that you're going to say this is a worse problem than a little cut shaving, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
The
think
things
you're right.
that
Karl,
you worry
there's a
about.
couple of key questions I need to ask. One, if she couldn't talk,
Yeah.
how did she tell your father where to drive it? Did she have it
Probably
written
got
on a
some
note?
help
Did
for
she
it at
point
home.
with her nose?
Yeah.
Right, this has got silly. Pick your song.
But and also, finally, where did you say she lived again?
It was like in a village, a little small village.
Right.
Just hidden out of the way.
All I'm saying is we could maybe get like some sort of coach, book some coaches, get a coach party up there to have a look at her.
So
Take some photos.
And now
You can make some lemonade.
the offspring of a woman and some spuds. Please enter at your peril. Give me a shiny shilling.
Wow.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm going to play a little bit of Teenage Fan Club song for the lovers here. We left it very late. We've been just, rapping with Karl P here, and this is I Need Direction. Oh, they're a good band,
They
aren't
are a good band.
XFM 104.9. We're nearly there. So will your girlfriend be proud of you now? You performed a PhD graduate
it's a
there,
bit annoying because she's not in London today. She's in Sunderland or something, or Newcastle,
right?
working.
So she won't know what your greatest triumph. She saw last week's and you got an E in history, and now this week you come through
Yeah.
with some great praise that Mrs. Matthews never, laid upon
Even
you,
looked
did she?
at. Well,
No, just said you won't be a high flyer. Eh? You've shown them, haven't you?
you never know. I mean, I had mates who, my mate Colin Makin, who
Sure.
did the disco with me.
Pilkington's making music, yeah.
Pilkington's making music.
Yeah.
He was dead brainy. I don't think he's up to much these days.
Sure.
You
Just-
can't plan it.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
Well, I mean, you can do. There's a certain amount of planning you can do. I mean, driving a tank down to the shops with some fags,
Yeah.
never going to mean you're a high flyer. You know?
And that woman who you picked up in your black cab, she's in a circus now and she
Yeah,
can
happy.
fly, which is good. Am I confusing that with a film? You went to see a film this week, didn't you? What did you see?
The Monsters Inc.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
have a little argument? What was the argument about? Did you have an argument with your girlfriend or something? Because of
Well, the history thing took over last weekend, to be honest, when you found out my results. That was like the talking topic of most of the weekend. And,
why? What did she say?
you brought it on yourself. Why didn't you take it serious?
Was she annoyed or upset?
Well, she just sort of said, "You can learn. Look, you learned Rasputin.
Mm.
If only you did
You've
that.
done
at
that.
school."
You've done
Do you know what I
Rasputin.
mean? She said, "You can do it if you're told to." She said, "It's only because Ricky's told you to read the book that you're reading it."
Does she think we're sort of like taskmasters?
Does she think we bully you?
Nah, she knows it's just a laugh.
Yeah. What did you tell your parents about your?
No,
No. Never.
because they never even questioned where my results were, so I don't want to tell them that I didn't get any.
No. What? How did they do it at school?
I didn't have them back then, did they?
Right. When was that, Karl? The Middle
Middle
Ages.
Ages.
I don't know. Like I say, back then it wasn't about getting results and that, was it? It was just about learning trades. I mean, my dad, right? He can put windows in his house,
Yeah.
do plumbing.
He should. It's dark, isn't it? He's done that first of all. Right.
So he can do what? He's got a multitude of different
Yeah, he
jobs.
can do all sorts. Do you know what I mean? If there's a problem in my flat, I can call him up and say, this isn't working. What should I do? And he'll say
Is that our brain surgeon?
he'll say, "Oh, fix it."
Sure. So what about Monsters Inc? What did
Yeah.
you make of it?
It's all right. It is a kids' film. It sort of annoyed
Is
me.
it?
Okay.
I was having
what gave that away? Do you think? Was it the songs? Was it the animation?
Yeah, the fluffy little things that squiggled round on the screen for an hour and a half.
It is annoying because there's kids everywhere, and kids don't watch films, do they?
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're messing.
I don't know why they make kids films.
And you
To
can't-
be honest, it's mental.
Can't concentrate properly when you've got kids,
Screaming,
making
shouting.
noise around you and that.
Yeah.
So I'd say my little review. Wait until it comes out on DVD.
Okay.
What a great great review that would be. Wouldn't that be great? Film 2002.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross going, well, I don't want to give it away. Wait till it comes out on DVD. Yeah. Oh.
No, but not giving it away. It's just that you can't watch it properly when there's kids screaming around you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
What are you looking forward to this week? You going to go and see anything?
Just been talking to Ricky now, because my missus is away. I'll probably get out a DVD tonight.
Yep.
Rounders.
Oh, right, okay.
I thought you might like that.
And if you can get, I mean, if I can get you tickets, say in the stalls or in a box for the stage version of Midnight Express, would you be up for that?
It's on ice.
I think it's the final year, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's Midnight Express on ice.
Yeah.
And it's a musical as well.
They're on roller skates.
Do you have any dope under your jacket? No.
Yeah.
It's great. John Hurt is actually in this version as well, which is fantastic. He played the Elephant Man. So the universe all comes together.
Have you ever seen the stage version of the Elephant Man?
No.
You'd love that?
Yeah. Who's in that? I have seen a clip of it. Who plays him?
I think they got a real guy with elephantitis.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you finishing on?
Let's have a final song for the ladies. It's from the album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by The Cure, and it's The Beautiful Catch.
Goodbye. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
So I said, all right, then I'll stay off. And
so why did you told you to hold on to a fence or walk you there? What's this? Don't go out.
Immediately give up.
I love this getting blown into the road. Is that based on your cats that kept getting blown into the road?
Well, so I got to school on the Monday, right? And the teacher said,
Took you a
right,
long time.
today, to punish you, you're the only one who wrecked the whole week, right? Everyone else came in, you didn't. So everyone else is going home at 3 o'clock today, but you're not.
Brilliant. Serves you right. And
I wasn't bothered though. It was great because I said, well, you'll have to stay with me, won't you? And it was great. So all I did for half an hour was doodle and stuff. It was great that afternoon.
Yeah.
And that was ages ago. That was like when I was about 8. And that's one of the times I was off ill.
Yeah.
So it was,
but that wasn't even ill, that was wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
right. Yeah, it's a bit different when you're
to be honest with you,
world, though, Karl. You can't just not turn up because you've got a bit of a cold or you're a bit fed up. I mean, we had an appointment 4 o'clock Thursday, wasn't it? And he had to call it because I cancelled it. Meeting went on a bit late.
Yeah.
Time management. Get things done. If it was important, you'd get it done. Play a record, Karl.
Pull your finger out, please.
Elvis Costello, Alison. What a great track that is. Beautiful. Well, Karl, we'd better tell them all the new great features we've come up with in the time you were off.
Right, well, we've got the film thing still going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where you take a lead role or a major role in a Hollywood blockbuster, which we then give away on VHS worth $6.99.
And something new we're trying out, because Rockbusters...
He's dead, thankfully, yes.
Is gone for a bit.
It's over.
Crosswords.
Oh, this sounds intriguing. Where'd you get the idea from? What's the basic format of this?
Right, what I've done is I've take like a popular saying from the show.
A popular what?
A popular saying, something that crops up quite a lot in the show.
In our show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing that sprang to mind was there's this hairy Chinese kid.
Oh,
Okay.
classic.
But more commonly it would be something like, Karl, you're an idiot.
Yeah, play
Karl,
a record,
you
you're
idiot.
a fool.
Karl, you're a fool.
Oh, what did you mean you let us down again?
Yeah,
You
Karl,
should
where
been
have you
here.
been?
Yeah,
Oh, you've got a headache, have you, Karl?
Yeah.
You better lie down.
Oh.
Typical
Yeah.
phrases like that,
Yeah,
sure.
typical phrases like that, yeah.
Karl, you're a loser. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And what I've done, I've got a load of different songs and took words from the different songs and then joined them together to make There's This Hairy Chinese Kid. And then people have to email in and say what the 5 songs were.
It sounds like the most complicated game ever. I'm looking forward to it. Have you heard any of this, Rick? Because I've not heard this at all. I'm not familiar with this.
Well, all it is, it'd go like, Eric Chinese Kid, and it's from sort of 4 different songs,
Right.
and you've got to identify the songs.
Right. Wow.
How many songs in this, Karl?
5. There's This Hairy Chinese Kid.
Okay.
Right.
So,
And what are the prizes for that? Are these the prizes?
Yeah.
All right, well, let me tell you what they are. They're not too bad, actually. We've got Live Forever, which I assume is a CD that ties in with this new film.
think of that. A well-known phrase from the show, and it's hairy Chinese kid.
Yeah.
What other? Where would you?
There is
hear
no
that
other radio show in the
life?
world.
This is Go on.
If you've just tuned in, I mean, what are you thinking?
Think if you've just tuned in? You're going, well-known phrase from Shaw, airy Chinese kid. Oh, yeah, classic. They'll be playing that in charades this Christmas.
So yeah, this is a CD that ties in with this new film Live Forever, which is all about Britpop, and so there's stuff on there from Oasis, Blur, Pulp, etc. We've also got another Red Dwarf DVD, Marion and Jeff, the first series of that, excellent. That's on VHS, sadly, but never mind. And also the very best of Led Zeppelin, a 2 CD set there with all the classics on. So that's not bad prizes, actually. Karl, you've done yourself proud.
We've upped it. We're getting serious now. We're playing in the the bigger league. We've upped the stakes, and we want Heat magazine not to lose touch with us just because Rockbusters is gone. Yeah. I think they're still behind us.
So we've got film. You appear in a film. We've got crosswords. How is that to do with the crossword?
Because I've got words and sort of cross them.
Okay.
Right, you don't really cross them. But good. So words. We're playing a game called Words. Word Song. Hello and welcome to Word Song.
And obviously, I imagine there'll be some more great music.
But we've got a new feature, haven't we?
Which one's this?
Are we doing within the Monkey News, the new feature?
Oh, Steve.
I'm excited. You know Monkey News is my favourite feature, so what have you added to it?
Explain it.
Right, well, there's been loads of stuff going on in the past few weeks, right? But for the times when I struggle, when sort of monkeys have had a quiet week, and there isn't that much news going on,
sure.
Right? Come up with this thing. I sort of speak to an expert. I've spoke to him already.
You spoke to an expert, a monkey expert.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I ask him a question.
Wow.
Right. The feature, it's got a good name. That's the way I work.
Yep.
Cheapest chimps. Right.
Okay.
And what I do, I ask them a question about, how much does it cost to, keep one? How much does it cost to, feed one for a week?
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff. So I give out like a monkey story, and if that isn't enough for people, they'll also learn something else at the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like...
It sounds fascinating, can I say right now?
Yeah.
That's just some of the things that we've come up with. Play a record, Karl.
Please still continue to listen there.
Yeah. Richard Ashcroft. Buy it in bottles on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Karl, I need the phone number of your girlfriend. Let me explain why. I was lucky enough, once again, to be on your quiz team this week. Ricky...
Still to beat me. He's still to beat me with his team, yeah. Second I came.
The gang here, and some friends, we sometimes go down to a pub quiz in the local area, and I was very nicely, I was invited by Karl to be on his team. Twice now I've been on that team. Ricky's always on another team. And what can I say, Karl? Do you mind me saying this now? Because I've analysed the team, and it's very much your team, and you've put the team together. You've recruited some excellent personnel. Your girlfriend's very, very good on the team, as is one of her work colleagues. And you normally bring in, someone like myself. I like to think I'm providing something with the entertainment section. I seem to remember last time I answered at least 6 or 7 questions that other people hadn't got. So I felt I provided something there. Karl, I rather like John Harvey Jones, who used to be called in to sort of troubleshoot companies. I see why you are not winning ever, and it's a rather pricey contest, isn't it? It costs £10 to enter per person, and unless you get in the top 3, you're not going to get to see your money back. No. So I think you're going to maybe need to step down from the team because, Karl, I'm not sure. I am not sure. Oh. You consider yourself a kind of player manager, but frankly, I'm not sure you're providing enough.
Right.
See, this is funny because as bad as I imagine you are, I don't think Steve would make it into my team, so he's getting a bit cocky here. I want to know what your opinion of him, because he's told me he's great on it.
Well, you bang out of order, first of all.
Okay.
Do you have a good night when you're with us?
I tell you what, I wish I hadn't lost a tenner every time I've come down. That would have improved it.
You point out there about the football analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Ferguson, when did he score a goal?
Right.
He doesn't. He tells the others how to do it.
Yeah.
Right? That's my role.
He doesn't take up one of the 11, though, does he?
No, exactly.
It's not like you can only field 10.
Yeah.
Because we only got 10 again. I want to be in the 11.
Exactly. He's not running around in midfield, falling over.
Yeah, shouting, "Oh, what have I told you?"
Yeah.
No.
Right. I'll admit.
And there's a limit of 5 players. We should explain that. That's the point.
Yeah, there's only 5 players on the team.
So.
But it was pretty tricky on Tuesday, though, wasn't it? It was one of the tougher...
Tell everyone the one question you got right.
It was something about...
Well, tell us the answer. The 2 words you had to say to get the answer.
Danny Minogue.
Danny Minogue. That was what you provided, Danny Minogue.
Is this valuable?
Well, no, not really, because
1.6?
there was at least 2 of us who also knew the answer.
Oh, well,
we gave him.
He didn't provide anything.
No, exactly. We gave it to Karl. We massaged his ego.
Oh,
but
dear.
I just feel Karl.
Do you know what? I feel a bit bad now because I just he had a crushed face. Then.
Can I just tell you right now?
He just can't believe this.
Can I just tell you right now? I think the problem is this. I think there's that precious 5th position that is not being filled at the moment, I think, consistently enough by a decent player, right? You've got a solid team. I'm thinking if you want to remain on the team, you are going to have to pull your finger out and find a 5th member that is going to provide, and I'll tell you where the weaknesses are. I can tell you right now, mate. The weaknesses are natural history and science.
Oh.
Something which Ricky Gervais is scoring on week in, week out on his team.
There is a few.
Now, if he was available for a transfer, we could be fine. But we've got to find someone to fill in that space. Otherwise, I'm either going to quit, or you're going to have to step down. Because I don't think I can be on a team where there is these obvious deficiencies. There are visible deficiencies in the team.
And, you know, the £10.
That's £10. I'm not made of money. That's once a month.
I've seen him depressed for 2 hours when he lost £20 at a casino after
Don't bring
5
it back.
hours
Don't
playing.
bring that back. Don't bring up that again.
Yeah.
That story.
He doesn't like wasting money, Karl. You know that.
What do you think? What's the solution? We've got to think proactively now. We've got to sort this out.
See, there's always other things going on in my mind when I'm in that pub quiz. For me, it's just a little bit of fun.
Sure.
It's a night out. Do you know what I mean? Suzanne enjoys it.
Yeah.
Bit of a get-together. We have a chat beforehand.
Yeah.
We have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But there was other things on my mind.
Karl, I could do that here. I don't have to lose a tenner.
Wait, what were you thinking during the quiz then, when the questions were coming out? What were you thinking of?
Well, what it was, right, just before the quiz started, I had to go to the toilet, right, because the rule is, right, people who don't go to it, once it starts, phones off, no more toilet. They take it dead serious, don't they, right?
Yeah.
So, I went to the toilet. Now, I'm not being out of order here, it just got me thinking, right? I went to the toilet. The gay fella in there, right?
There was a gay fella in there.
Gay fella in the toilet. Now,
how could you tell?
How did you know?
Just typical, you know, everything about it, right?
Everything about it, right, yeah.
Oh.
What, large handlebar moustache, leather cap.
Butt plugs, amyl nitrate. Could I just say that these views do not reflect the views of the management of XFM or me and Steve.
Or most of the people in this country.
Go on, Karl. What's your problem?
Yeah, but this is what I'm worried about, really. But this is why I only got Danny Minogue right. Right? Because this was floating around my mind. Went
She's
to
a
the
big
toilet.
gay icon,
now,
isn't she?
go into the toilet. They have like men's cubicle and they have women's cubicle.
Yeah.
Now, without sounding out of order, is it wrong for me to think gay men should have their own little cubicle?
Go in.
They should have their own. Well, not cubicle. You mean an actual toilet, I suppose.
When I was at the urinal, normally, you know, there's a fella there, and you go, all right, and there's no pressure. But I couldn't go. I was thinking, should I wait? If I go into the toilet, it'll look obvious.
Yeah.
I had loads of pressure, and
but
this was going on.
What were you worried about?
I'm so sorry.
What were you concerned about?
Viewers? I'm so sorry.
Well, it's like, right, listen, when I was a kid, right, and it's alright for you to go into women's toilets when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's a bit cute, right, as long as you're not, like, over 15 or something, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, I went into a toilet, and women, when they use their little cubicles, they don't shut the door. Some of them just sit down on the toilet, right, and you see everything, and... No, seriously, that's probably one of the first times I saw, like, a woman.
Yeah.
That, right, and my Auntie Nora when she was staying over.
What happened with your Auntie Nora?
She was, she's into wearing caftans.
Into wearing what?
You know, caftans.
Oh, yeah.
What caftans?
Big, bellowy sort of dresses.
Right.
And, yeah, I used to sit on the floor at home in front of the telly.
Sure.
She was on the chair behind.
Yeah.
She did a bit of a sort of a Sharon Stone scene.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
There was no underwear?
No.
What age were you?
What was it like?
What age were you?
It was like a ripped tennis ball. So.
What? Right, we're off air. That's how I'm living. Bit of old school hip-hop.
Where's RT? All right.
Good point, yeah.
Go make me a cup of coffee or something.
Well, before you do that, can I just qualify something? I'm a little bit concerned about your toilet discussion. What exactly is your point again? I was just a bit bemused.
You see, it's a tricky one. All I'm saying is, right, there was at the pub quiz, I go to the toilet, not thinking about anything, I try to go, right, There's a little gay fella next to me.
I love this little gay fella.
Now, the weird thing is, there's nothing stopping him having a little glance, right? Because he's allowed in the fella's toilet.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not allowed to go into the woman's toilet and have a little look round.
Right.
So all I'm saying is, should they have another toilet area?
What, for gay people?
Yeah.
And so this would be gay men and lesbians? Is that going to complicate things?
Well, I mean, I can only assume. I mean, to what point? Answer your question, right? If you're intimidated, that's a shame. But you know, most gay men aren't looking at your knob. You know that.
What do you mean?
I can only say that 99.9% of gay men who use a urinal standing next to what they assume is a heterosexual man aren't looking at his knob.
What are they doing then?
They're emptying their bladder.
No, but the thing is,
I can't talk politics for Karl.
You're saying, like, you know, about would you have one toilet for lesbian women and gay fellas, right?
What does that mean? Yeah, would it be mixed? Would it just be?
Well,
would it have a man on one? That's heterosexual man. One little picture of a woman on the other, and then what? What would the little icon be?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman.
Just having a chat.
Yeah. In pink and dot
But
lines.
you couldn't mix them, because then what would happen is you'd get people who are going, oh, I'll play up to this a bit.
What, pretend to be gay?
And yeah, you know, sort of grow a moustache and shave their head.
And pretend to be a lesbian.
Right. Yeah. So, well, I see, so you know people pretending to be gay so they could go in and have a look at the lesbians?
Yeah.
Right. So that would mean that we need 4 cubicles now, wouldn't we?
Yeah, no, this is fine. 4 cubicles is
So
fine.
every pub
How
now...
many toilets do we need at
Every
the
pub's
moment?
now got 4 toilets.
Oh, Karl, bisexuals.
Yeah. Now, interesting.
Bisexuals. How many toilets do we need now? Call the council.
Do you use any?
Huh?
No.
No, because they're interested in everything, aren't they?
Because the little bisexual fellow will be looking at your knob.
Right. With them,
Yeah.
what you do, you just have a door, you open it, and there's one urinal there, so you can't get a queue. They have to sort of wait.
I just thought that, well, why can't there just be a thing between the urinals? So no one can look at anyone else's knob.
Wait a minute. Just to go back to Ricky's point, what stops, even if we've got the toilet for gay men, what stops the gay men who want to have a look at your willy going in the regular toilet and pretending that they're straight?
Most men don't
Who is going to police this?
wear gay across their
No,
head.
exactly.
They don't have a tattoo. There's no branding yet in the British house where they have to declare.
So we're going to have to expand this.
What
So we've
do
all
you-
got to carry identity
Do you know
cards.
you can see a gay, can you? Coming a mile off. No?
No, I'll just hold it in next time.
No. Can you tell gay men? Do you know a gay man?
I'd say probably if you did if you lined some people up
Yeah.
and said point them out, I reckon I'd get.
But hold on, we're not talking about people dressed in leather with the arse cut out and an handlebar moustache.
Yeah.
We're talking about, the everyday,
No,
non-seen.
of course,
Oh,
no.
well, yeah, but I mean, suppose I put you in a room and there was 10 naked men, right?
Yeah.
And there's 5 gay men and 5 hetero. Could you walk along that line looking at those gay...
Am I naked?
No, you don't have to be naked. Why would you have to be naked?
To catch them out.
Play a record!
How would you catch them out?
Get excited.
Don't go into it! Don't go into it! Don't go into it! Play a record. One Horse Town on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Now, Karl Pilkington is getting ready. It's the start of a new strand in the show, a new quiz, a new competition to replace Rockbusters. Now, that's quite a tall order, but what have you done?
Right, like I said, right, if you've only just tuned in, what it is, I've took, and I'll be taking, a well-known saying every week from the show, something that crops up a lot. First one that sprang to mind was...
There's a little gay fella standing next to me in the urinal?
That's next week.
Okay.
This week, there's this airy Chinese kid, right?
Yeah.
That's crops up quite a lot,
Sweeping the nation.
right? So what I've done, I've got 5 songs,
Yeah.
and I've edited them together to make that saying.
You've got words from songs where any part of that sentence occurs to recreate it. Yeah. Now, what do they need to do? Do they need to say what the song is? Just the 5 songs?
I mean, I was going to say song and artist, but if you want, just a song.
So there's 5 things there, and if someone doesn't get all 5, it's still worth emailing in because we might give it to the one who's got the most, and then...
Yeah. Can I suggest we go for artist rather than song? Only because sometimes it's quite tricky to get a song title. Sometimes it's very odd, or it's not quite what you think it is. So maybe artist is an easier one.
Are you happy with that, Karl? It's your competition.
Right? I mean, Steve always does this whenever I come up with an idea.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure it's just the best it can be, Karl.
Yeah, no, he came up with a few game shows, and Steve was going, no, it's no good. And Karl said to me, he said, it's the one of The Office ever got on telly.
Yeah, but, well, we shall see how Cheapest Chimps plays out. But frankly, the fact that you said to me, Steve, I've come up with the best game show ever, it's called Cheapest Chimps, what's the idea? I don't know, I just like the name. It's something to do with chimps. I thought, well, I'm not sure that's the best game show ever. And what was the other one you came up with that you told me about?
I think a few people will be disagreeing with him, Karl. I think people will say that Cheapest Chimps could be the best game show ever.
You know, when I was at school, people like you, I really didn't like. You're a stirrer, Gervais. He flits, doesn't he, from one side to the next, Karl. The one thing, we may argue, mate, but at least we're consistent. Ricky Gervais flipping from one side to the other. One day he's on Karl's side.
When was the last time Steve wrestled you to the ground and got you in a leg clamp?
No, you're right.
Never.
What, is that supposed to be a good thing?
Well, didn't you see us?
Yeah, I saw you struggling in Karl's office earlier.
He was punching my legs to release me. We were on the floor, and I was squeezing him with my mighty legs, wasn't I, Karl?
What?
It was like, I imagine that's what a crab feels like when an octopus has got it. We were playing that, weren't we?
So anyway... So, I'll play you this clip now. It's 10 seconds long. We'll play it a couple of times, because you'll need to take it in. So here it is then. What are we saying? We're saying artists?
Let's go with artists.
Artists. So email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Name the 5 artists it has taken to make up the saying, there's this airy Chinese kid.
Give that email address again.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
There's this airy Chinese kid.
Here we go. Play it again.
Play it again.
There we go.
I think you better play it once more.
Oh, I've got them.
Have you got them all?
Yeah.
That's nice work.
Here we go.
I can just remind you now that the prizes include a Red Dwarf DVD, Marion and Jeff, the first series of that on VHS, a Live Forever Britpop CD, and also the very best of Led Zeppelin. Let's play one of those actually while we're here.
Brilliant.
Rock and roll. One of the prizes on Karl's competition this week is the very best of Led Zeppelin. That's obviously rock and roll. We've also got a Live Forever Britpop CD, Marion and Jeff, and Red Dwarf. And should we play it again? So people
There's
have got
this
another
hairy
chance?
Chinese kid.
Who are the artists?
Here we go.
It's tricky. It's not very easy. Once more.
One more.
Well, there you go.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Those prizes can be yours. I, at the quiz, also discovered, of course, and I don't know, I'm just intrigued to know, Karl, I'm just intrigued to know. It was your girlfriend's birthday, wasn't it? Earlier in the week?
Yeah,
or last week?
On Monday, yeah.
And, I mean, obviously it was a triumph with the stuff you got her for Christmas.
The condoms.
The box of condoms.
Box set of condoms.
Oh yeah.
Not just the singles, the whole set.
Yeah, a complete collection.
Brilliant.
So what did you go for this time?
What did you get her?
Yeah, but...
No,
Yeah,
but it's her birthday. How long have you been together?
About 9 years.
Okay, so, God, it must cost you so much.
I know, but it starts getting tricky, doesn't it? Because I spoiled her a lot in the first few years.
Yeah.
So then
Here's a packet of rubber bands. Enjoy them.
Oh.
Well, it's what she wanted.
Okay.
I mean, you're making out as if...
No, everyone wants paper clips. Come on, what did you get her?
Got her a new pair of gloves.
Right.
All right, well.
And?
What, nice leather ones from Selfridges or... Harrods or something?
They were good ones, the sort she likes, so... They
Well,
weren't...
they weren't the little woolen ones that she had.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke when she said he got me these, because I laughed.
No, but I know that's... The one she did have,
When they said it's his birthday, right, it was her birthday Monday, and me and Steve wanted to get her, and she went, he got me these, because she had those little woolen gloves on. I laughed, because I thought she was joking, Karl.
That's what she wanted.
Right.
I've told you before about buying presents. It's
Did those gloves have your name sewn in them? And a piece of string that ran over the back of your duffel coat?
You know, I've never been into getting presents and that. I had the problem at that Christmas one, that time with the Victoria Plum.
Yeah, we'd hate that. We'd hate to bring that back.
We've done that.
Because you talked about the book, because it's kind of to do with your dad, isn't it? He's a very bad gift buyer, was that the problem?
Well, yeah, my dad just wouldn't bother. It was my mum who sort of made an effort, and she sort of worked out half of what I wanted, then she left it to my dad to get it off someone, see if he could get one cheap or whatever.
I love the fact that usually people talk about, like, drinking heavily or violent abuse, right?
Yeah.
But here's what he's been left with and scarred with from parents is bad gift buying.
Yeah, and
that's
the
not so
Victoria
bad,
Plum
is it?
incident.
In the greater scheme of things in the world,
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing to have, is it?
Right, there was this, this is what it's like about getting presents and stuff, right? With my mum and dad.
Go on.
My mate, Colin, right?
Colin Makin?
No, Colin Bailey.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He had a little Sinclair Spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Computer,
Yeah.
which was like the thing to have at that time, right?
Yeah.
Used to always go round to his house. The deal was...
Not the one you had to play through the window because you weren't allowed
No,
to.
no, that's another lad.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is a different lad. And the deal was, he came to our house, and my mum gave him a pie. And then I'd go round to his, and I'd stay there for a few hours playing, you know, Hungry Horace and stuff like that on it.
Sure.
Right? Now, my mum and dad knew that I really wanted one of these computers, right? So I waited about a year. Came round to Christmas Day. I thought, I reckon might have one. Turned out they bought me the wrong one. They bought me a ZX81 instead of a Spectrum, right? And Christmas Day, I'm there trying to load the games up. It's not working. I'm thinking, what's wrong, right? And the thing with me when I was a kid, I used to get quite sort of agitated.
This is the moment.
Right? I found out that it needed a RAM pack to make it work, right? Looking in the thing and it's saying, and make sure you put your RAM pack in the back. And I was like, oh, where's the RAM pack? And my dad's going, I don't know, I've got you the main bit. That's it. So, I was that wound up, I just was sick, right? Just sick. I didn't feel sick or anything, I just was like, oh God. Went to the sink, just sick. Because I was that on edge about it. I said, come on, we've got to get one. And my dad's like, Tandy's shut, we're not gonna get anything today. Ruined again, Christmas Day. That was after the year when my train set got blown up by our kid. The following year, no RAM pack. And now you ask me why don't I get good presents?
He's scarred. He just
I'm gonna die. Honestly, I'm gonna die. It's just clean sick.
Yeah. There's no RAM pack.
Did you get to the bottom of it? Why wasn't there a RAM pack?
You have to buy them separate.
Oh,
It's one
right,
of them
okay.
cons.
What do you mean I can't play Frogger?
Oh no.
So, wasn't there another incident when you threw up? Spontaneously threw up?
Oh.
Through sheer anxiety?
I do get it. It's not so much now because I've relaxed a bit, but as a kid I used to be quite on edge all the time with certain things.
Do you think that's what happened to your
The
cat
wind.
that kept being sick? That it didn't get the food it wanted, and it just threw up. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
God, so they shaved it.
Yeah, but again, you see, the cat thing... I mean, it's mad. I was thinking about it the other day, right? I used to think I had quite a normal upbringing,
You didn't.
right? And someone was talking
Your
about the
mother
cat.
once told you not to go to school because it was windy, Karl. It was
Yeah.
not a
Right.
normal
The
upbringing.
cat was being sick, so she shaved it, so it was easier to clean.
Right, well, my mum and dad went on holiday, right? And I stayed at the Ross's down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Only a kid, must have been about 5 or something, right? And I was always running around in the house. I had a lot of energy as a kid. What the Rosses did, they had this cat that was dead violent, the most violent sort of angry cat I have ever witnessed.
A tiger.
It was, honestly, Steve, if it was bigger, it would have been, because it was just always having a go at you.
Yeah.
If you went to pat it on the head, it went to bite you and stuff. And what they used to do with it, to stop me running around, I'd sort of be running around, and then I'd get a bit tired, and they'd say, have a lie down on the settee. So I'd lie down on the settee and I'd nod off, And what they used to do, I'd wake up and I've put the cat on my belly. Right? So I'd be scared to move because it's like it's going to get me.
But it would keep you there.
It kept me there, and it used to sort of slaver on me, and they'd sort of, go out or whatever, and I'd be lying there. That's not normal, is it?
Karl, sorry, were you created by the Brothers Grimm for one of their fairy tales? What kind of a life is that?
A cat paperweight to keep Karl in place. He keeps blowing around. It's windy. We'll have to weigh him down. Be careful. Your mum probably told him that it's a windy day. You got to get something heavy on him. Otherwise, he just gets blown into the road. God.
Bless him. Karl, let's just hear your thing once more. Give people a final chance.
All right, here we go.
Ricky.gervais at xfm.co.uk.
Can't stop the spirits when they need you. This life is more than just a read-through.
Ooh, those chili peppers are quite hot. Can't stop. XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Karl, you know what the time is? Bong. Monkey news.
Yeah. Right.
Imagine if Trevor McDonald started like this.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff going on that with monkeys.
Oh, yeah?
I was mentioning earlier how we sort of making the feature grow a bit, right? So, I'm thinking... Oh, I haven't told you, Steve, either. I've actually been asked to write a thing about monkeys.
A poem?
No, for a magazine called Something Apes.
Right.
They want me to do like a column, 500 words.
About monkeys?
Anything I want on monkeys. Anything.
What are you going to write?
Don't know. Think about it.
Well, give him a typewriter. Come up with Shakespeare eventually.
Yeah. You could write about that. Why didn't you write about that? The fact that you don't believe it. You don't believe that an infinite number of monkeys could type because he was Shakespeare. Because
you reckon most of them hadn't read Shakespeare, so they wouldn't know some of the spellings.
Exactly.
It wouldn't happen.
You idiot. Get on with it.
All right.
There's been a few things, but one that springs to mind is they found a load of monkeys somewhere. Right?
This is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine this if this was news.
Yeah.
Go on. Where?
Somewhere.
I think it was in
17th century?
It doesn't matter that bit. Right?
Okay.
Found a load of monkeys that are having a good chat.
Go on.
They're having a good chat. All right.
They found monkeys that can talk.
Yeah.
They've worked out. They've got about 534 different words that they're using to have a chat about stuff.
More than you.
Yeah. What do they chat about then?
Just things that monkeys are worrying about. Just where do you get that from?
Who does your hair?
You going out with her again, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Sorry, you can't just leave that.
No. I'm just intrigued. I'm just intrigued to know what else. Is there any?
No,
were they discussing the humancy? Did you see that program on Channel 5?
Yeah.
He can walk upright.
Yeah.
Good,
but
did you see how well
do you mean
he
they
was?
taught them? They taught themselves this language.
Yeah.
Where is this? In the wild? Is it? Not sign language.
It's
but
in some jungle somewhere. They found these monkeys. He heard some explorer was over there, cutting through the woods and that.
And he heard his name, and he thought, "That's what he went. What do you want, Ronnie?" It wasn't me. I didn't say. Yeah. I didn't say, "Oh, it's Snodgrass. Where'd you get that gun?"
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's only me and you here.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
No, it's not weird. It's not true.
Well,
right, come on then. What's next?
Once again, but what I'm thinking, that did happen.
So,
and to sort of add to that feature,
that's not true.
We're doing Cheap as Chimps.
Right. Can I just say now to the audience, if you thought that Rockbusters was bad, if you thought that piece of rubbish earlier about the Chinese hairy kid was bad, I'm suspecting this is going to be really not very good at all. I'm just pointing the finger.
What do you think of it? What do you think of his negativity, Karl?
He keeps doing it.
I just don't think you should start with the name of the quiz first. This is my only concern. You've come up with Cheap as Chimps. And now you're trying to construct a game around that, and I'm not sure it's a proper. Well, okay. What is the game? Let's hear it.
Right, it's about a a chimp, right?
Surprising.
Spoke to an expert about them.
Who was the expert?
Someone at London Zoo.
Okay.
How many bananas do you think the little chimp that they've got at London Zoo eats a day?
Right. How many bananas does a little chimp at London Zoo?
Can they call in for this?
No, I'd leave it. I'm just testing it out on Steve because we've already got an email thing going on here.
So how many bananas do they eat a day? One chimp per day, how many bananas?
Yeah.
How many bananas does a chimp eat a day? And does this mean that... Because sometimes I've seen them on the telly, they peel one, they'll just eat a bit of it, then they'll throw it away. We're talking a whole banana?
How many bananas does it eat a day?
How many bananas do you eat a day?
Getting angry. Come on.
Well, I'll try and have 2 if I've got time, but I'm pretty busy.
Well, I'll go... swinging on your tyre.
How many do you reckon?
I think a little monkey, a tiny little monkey, per day, over the course of a day, I reckon he probably eats 15 bananas.
Right. Ricky, what are you going for? Little chimp at London Zoo.
But hold on, but presumably they don't only feed it bananas. So
Okay.
so the question is...
It's how many bananas does it eat? Come on,
Yeah, but
Rick.
how many does it get given? It would eat 15 if it was given 15, but it might be given one slice of banana, 15 oranges, 200 potatoes and some lettuce.
How many bananas does it eat? Come on. Have a guess.
5?
Yeah.
Right. It's only 1.
Yeah, because it only gets given one.
Cheap as chimps.
What?
So it's pretty cheap to have a chimp.
Right. I'm on your side now, Steve.
I don't understand what happened then. What, so at the end of it, you always shout cheap as chimps. Is that what? That's the quiz, is it?
Oh, play a record.
Wait,
Karl.
so is that it? Is that seriously
Is that it? Was that the first instalment of Cheap as Chimps?
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the press say about this.
And why does it only eat one banana? Because it only gets given one banana.
I think that's all it wants.
No.
So you don't even know. You didn't even bother to ask him.
It wouldn't just get given one banana and nothing else. It would get given banana and then lots of other stuff like apples, oranges, carrots. It would get given a balanced diet.
Cigars is on your quiz, Karl. We've had people
That's
who've got
what you get
a
when you
maximum
put
of 4.
a duck in a microwave.
Yeah, yeah.
Bill Withers.
Nice.
All right.
Cheers. So I'm not talking about cheapest chimps.
That's safe. That's going to run and run.
Yeah,
that is going to run and run.
That's really got legs.
I'm going to check the press Monday. I can only assume it's a triumph.
Exactly, another Pilkington triumph.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the prize, if you don't mind, Karl, to Karen and Jeff Gillian, because they're the only couple that got the second answer, which was very, very
But
tricky.
they got 4 today.
But they only got 4
But
right.
4 is the top answer, so should we give
So
the answers
play it,
now?
Karl, and then tell us who each one is.
Right. So there you go.
I didn't know the second one.
There's
Play it
this
again.
very Chinese kid.
So the first one, the Lars.
There she goes.
Right.
That's George Harrison.
No.
That's Philip Bailey. And that's Deacon Blue.
Right. So it was the Lars.
Yeah. What's the second one?
Strokes.
That was very tricky.
That is hard.
George Harrison for
Harrison, yeah.
Airy. That's all I could get. It was Ari.
Ari Krishna, yeah.
But no. Chinese. Phil Bailey.
Chinese War is.
Yeah. And Deacon Blue. Real Gone Kid.
Real Gone Kid, yeah.
There's this airy Chinese kid.
Very,
Yeah.
very hard.
I love the fact that the normal bit of that, right, the normal bit is like the well-known phrase, there's this hairy Chinese kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, nothing happened there. That's normal. There's this hairy Chinese kid. As a phrase that often... In fact, you're right. We must have said that phrase 20 times today. When was the last time that was said 20 times?
Never. I don't think it's ever been said anywhere.
There's this hairy Chinese kid. I mean...
Even in China.
I don't think it's... Well, it's very rare.
Definitely not said in China. The prizes they've won.
The prizes they won: Red Dwarf DVD, Live Forever, the best of Britpop, Marion and Jeff on VHS, and the best of Led Zeppelin. Well done to Karen and Jeff Gillian.
I've also seen no proof of this hairy Chinese kid.
None whatsoever.
Alpine Stars, Burning Up on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve, you were out of the room there. Mm-hmm. Karl took a phone call from someone.
Okay.
He's found a cellmate.
Right.
Not a soulmate, I think one day they will be cellmates.
Yes.
Because he's just like, he loves everything Karl loves, and he was telling Karl stuff, and Karl's face was lighting up.
Yeah.
He's told him of 2 Russian kids in the circus they're covered in hair and their mum tells them off because they're covered in fleas. Karl said, see, that annoys me again, innit? They do something else. And the bloke went, yeah, they should just make money out of being hairy. And Karl went, exactly. And he said, have you heard of the three-legged juggler? And the bloke went, no, what's that? He went, that annoys me as well. Because he thinks they shouldn't have done juggling, they should have done football.
Do you know what I mean, though, Steve?
What do you mean a three-legged juggler? What are you talking about?
He's a famous three-legged juggler.
Oh, he's mega famous. He's like the Beckham of wherever he's from.
But the other day I was looking in, I don't know, Bizarre magazine or something, right? And there was this fella who, he had no arms. So you saw a picture of him, his job was fixing watches, did it with his feet.
Go on.
Well, it's just, why pick the most hardest job to do when you haven't got any hands? Crush grapes. Or... Do you know what I mean? That annoys me.
Oh, crush grapes! Imagine him being told that he comes into the careers advisory where I go, now, what do you want to do, Hargreaves? Make watches? Right, take a look at your arms. Crush grapes, mate. Sorry, you're a grape crusher. Next. Brilliant. Brilliant. I would love you to be a career advisory in some sort of clinic. It'd be brilliant.
I like the fact that it annoys you. Here's a man, he's got no arms, he has learned to fix watches with his feet.
Yeah.
An incredible talent, incredible skill, he's utilising that brilliantly. That's annoying to you. You are angered by it.
Right, I'm only being honest. Now, you be honest, right? Your watch is broke. Who would you go to? You're in a rush. You need it fixing in a rush. Now, you need some fresh wine.
Be honest.
Oh, you're amazing.
But what's this thing that you've been talking about, this video?
Freaks, right. It was a thing that was banned for like 50 years. I think it's been taken off again, but I don't know why, if it's just been deleted, right? It's a quest. If anyone out there has got a copy of Freaks on DVD or VHS, can Karl borrow it, please? I mean, I almost want to set up a camera to see him watching it. It's absolutely real. They used people in the circus of the time. I think it's the 20s or 30s of the Depression. And there's people, there's coneheads, there's a bearded lady, all genuine. There's a bloke they call the human slug who's got no arms and no legs, Karl. And he's just there, and he rolls a cigarette and lights it with his mouth.
I think I've seen his brother, who isn't called the human slug, is called the pillow.
Right. How does he make a living?
He,
Does anyone want to meet Karl for money? Do you know what I mean?
the annoying thing was, right, there was a picture of him, I was going to put it on
I think I've seen his brother.
on our website, we put things up like this, right? If you go to rickygervais at xfm.co.uk /
What? You put things like that on my website? It's nothing to do with me. I want people to know that website is not kept or looked at by me. So, what have you put on there?
There's a fella on there who's known as the pillow. And he's, you see, I get a bit worried with things like this, because we're not sort of having a go or anything, it's just things that fascinate me.
you.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's a guy, it might be the same sort of thing. What's your one
I
called?
bet you used to stare at people with goiters, didn't you, when you were little? In Tesco's.
Well, just go to xfm.co.uk / Ricky, it is.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen on, like, a human face?
You know what it is, and
What
I
is
don't want
it?
to talk about it.
I can't remember. Have
No.
you told me?
Yeah.
What is it?
But go,
It's not
go
the
to,
elephant lady
Go
that used
to
to-
the... Yeah.
Is it the elephant lady? You talked about that, I know.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it again. Go to the website and see the human pillow.
Why is he a human pillow?
That's what annoyed me. I thought he was more of a draft excluder.
Now, things are flying here at XFM. People have called in. There is a video of Freaks on the way. Karl's going to see that within the week. That's exciting. That is exciting for me. Do you know what I mean? About our education of Karl. We started off trying to teach him about science and history, and now we just find that he likes pictures of hairy Chinese kids and
Who
women. Who doesn't? No, true. You've got a theory about pictures of freaks, haven't you?
You see, you always bring things up that I don't want to talk about, because I'm really worried that people, if you've just tuned in for the first time, it's the first time you hear it, and we're talking about hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Talking about the human worm.
Karl, listen. People don't think that you're taking the piss out of those people. They lump you in with them. Do you know what I mean? They think that you're a freak of nature, so you can say anything you want. Do you know what I mean? Because it's honest, it's from the heart, it's genuine. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, but Suzanne was saying last night that I've got a heart of stone or whatever it is.
Why?
Because I wasn't crying at Comic Relief. And all I always used to say to her, get out Elephant Man, let me watch that for 30 minutes, I'll be crying my heart out.
Why? Why do you care about that but not...
Because it's that is more real, isn't it, right? Think of John Merrick.
Sorry. What, the film starring John Hurt is more real than footage of starving people in Africa?
No, but what I'm saying is, think about... See, this is why I didn't want to bring it up, because people are going to just say...
Well, you're allowed to cry at what you like. People can't have you for not crying at someone and crying at someone else.
Imagine that, like, if you've seen the film, you know, his head's all, you know, messed up and that.
Yeah.
He's getting picked on all the time.
Yeah.
By Michael Elphick, I remember.
Yeah. It's just really, really sad. Whereas, you know, we're trying to help
But
out
you give him a bun
people.
and he forgets it.
Do you know what I mean, though?
He never forgets, Rick.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Oh God.
We're giving away stuff again.
Yeah.
Time
Tell
for
me your theory about freaks who have their picture taken.
No, I'd leave it.
No, can I tell you?
We'll do it next week then.
Can I tell you what this is?
Go on quickly, what is it?
Right, when he sees a little picture, like in his books he's got, he carries round those things, right? And there's like a fella with a little head with some like able-bodied people. He goes, the only reason they got to take that picture, right, was so they could show their mates, say, look at me, the little fella with a little head. That's his theory.
Yeah. So every picture of a freak, they're being...
Steve, let me describe the picture to you. This little fella with a little head.
Right.
Playing on the piano.
I've seen it.
All his family stood around, and mates and that. When have you ever seen a picture of someone playing the piano and everybody wants to be in on it? Doesn't happen.
Maybe it was one of those kind of Christmas cards they sent out to everyone.
It wasn't. You could see one of them was like in a rush to go away. He was probably planned to go out, and he was like, but they were taking a picture. It's, I'll be in it then before I go out. And it was all... He's out of order.
Yeah.
If you say... do you know the one
I do know the one you mean, yeah.
Go,
What about the one in the, when you went down to Cornwall? In that little
we'll
pub.
talk about that next week.
What you want to get on, do you?
Yeah, right. We've got to give away another prize.
Yes, you lucky people. For those of you that haven't seen it and do not have the requisite £4.99 to buy it yourselves, you can win on VHS cassette, panned and scanned. Billy Elliot, the special edition, includes bonus documentary, The Billy Elliot Boy.
Oh,
and,
I'd like to see how they really sort of made that film.
Exactly. Well, it's the hit film Billy Elliot, and you can win that on VHS. Because Karl, I assume you have included yourself in an excerpt from the movie.
Taken a scene from the film.
Who do you play, Billy?
I'm playing the part of Billy.
Brilliant.
And we'll have a question at the end of
Come
it.
on.
Brilliant.
2, 3 part of all way and go.
Alright. Just been down the valley. So I don't know where you... What are you looking like that for? What's wrong with Bally?
What's wrong with Bally?
Yeah, well, what's wrong with it? It keeps you fit and that. What do you think, Auntie Nora? You think about me doing ballet?
I used to go to ballet.
There you go. She used to go to ballet.
I used to say I could have been a professional dancer if I'd had the training.
Bet you were pretty good, weren't you? Wasn't the time you had wind for 5 minutes, was it? But you well glided across the
Will you shut up?
What's wrong with ballet, anyway?
For girls, not for lads, Billy. Lads do football or
Well, I've done that, yeah.
boxing or...
Did that for a couple of weeks, so... Wrestling?
Wrestling?
Yeah, wrestling, yeah.
Not friggin' Bally.
Well... Don't worry about it, anyway. Just... Is it alright if my mate Wayne stays over tonight? He just wants to sleep over. He's just coming over to...
Wayne, sleep?
Yeah, he just stays over. I'm not gay or anything, he's just... I don't fancy him, I'm not...
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you bloody well do.
What, just because I want my mate Wayne to sleep over and I've started doing ballet, that turns me into a gay man, does it? You haven't seen my Village People album lying around?
You're asking for a hiding.
Just joking, just having a laugh. Just didn't mean... I've had enough in here, I'm going out.
No, from now on you stay here, you look after your nana. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, there it is. What's the question?
Powerful. I'd like to know what was the name of the actor that Karl was taking the role of. Does that make sense? That's not grammatically quite right, but
Well,
anyway,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Who was the young lad that Karl was taking the place of there? Name of the actor, not the character.
And just email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
You can win yourself.
You've got to be fast.
You can win yourself a VHS edition of Billy Elliot worth £4.99 price. I'm going to leave the sticker on, which has actually got the price on.
Brilliant.
I'll leave that on so you know just what you've got in your head.
Foo Fighters. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Feeder.
Feeder.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing now. Why have we got to stop? Sorry, we just had an argument then. Why have we got to stop at 5-2?
It's just the football's on, isn't it? So
what can we do? We do a link here, and then we can play.
we'll talk here. We'll play a song. Do a little.
What about
chat.
the competition? We got to announce the competition.
Well, Steve.
Well, I can tell you right now that there's only 2 people, it would appear, that are interested in a VHS copy of Billy Elliot. That's how mediocre that gift and that prize is, Karl. I don't know if you want to learn from that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give this one to MJ McKay, who has correctly identified that you were taking the part of Jamie Bell in Billy Elliot. So, well done.
Right, just forward me that and I'll
sort that out.
I'll get the video.
What film are you doing next week?
Dunno, I've got been out and bought a couple. Got Silence of the Lambs I can do something with.
Right.
Bought Fight Club, but it's a bit difficult. Always open to suggestions and that. So, you got any favourite films?
What about the 1930s film Freaks?
Oh, can't wait! I cannot wait for your.
Brilliant, that'd be good.
Excited about that.
Why don't you do a film review of that next week as well?
Yeah, well, it depends. If the fella, if anyone's got it, just send it in. I'll send it you back once I've watched it. So that'd be good. Next week we'll do.
Oh, please tell me there's going to be more Cheap as Chimps.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
We'll see what the press say. We'll see what the press say about that.
Looking forward to that.
Do you know, like, you're always having a go at my ideas?
Yeah.
Little,
Yeah.
cheapest chimps you put down.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I normally come up with these because you don't come up with a competition idea.
Sure. Yeah.
He's done him again.
Yeah.
Well, cheapest chimps, mine, you're dissing it.
Yep.
Rockbusters, one of the most successful competitions ever.
Uh-huh.
And he means in the world, not just on XFM.
Yeah.
You put that down.
Yep.
Right. What are you thinking about this, right? I was watching Comic Relief last night. Came up with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You get Jono.
Okay. Jono Coleman, yeah.
Say Vanessa Feltz.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, Dawn French, because she'd be around for that. And then get them all in a room for Comic Relief. And what you do, put a cake in front of them.
Yeah.
Right? And like, you don't feed them. And like, they're going, oh, I'd love a bit of that cake. Right? It's called Famine Academy.
Right.
Right? Whilst they lose pounds, they get pounds.
Right.
What do you think?
Play a record, Karl.
Well...
I love it,
Again.
I love
Do you know
it,
what I mean?
Karl.
Yet again.
I love it. Bob Dylan. The times, they are a-changing.
The thing is, Rick, it makes me wonder if the times, are they changing? I mean, it seems to me that life's pretty much the same as it was way back in the 60s when Bob Dylan wrote that song.
Got any idea what you're talking about?
No idea whatsoever,
You
Rick.
don't really know about politics, do you?
Know anything about it. Don't even read the papers. Got no interest, really.
Yeah.
Not particularly informed. My life's cushy. Got won some awards and stuff. Doesn't bother me. So,
On a serious
that's
note,
everyone.
though, it is a bit worrying. I
What?
want somebody to put my... Do I have to get gas masks or something?
No, because there are guys out there in Leicester Square today wearing novelty hats. If they don't sort this war out, then no one can.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about it anymore.
You would worry about it.
I would worry about it.
Well, you, maybe Steve.
Why?
Sort of people who are successful are worrying about it more than other people. Just
Go
because, well, they've got more to lose, haven't they?
Right.
No, do you know what I mean? You see, like, Bruce Willis on the telly saying, oh, it's not good, is it? And And it's because he's got a big house and loads of cars. If you live, you know, on a council estate, it's like, well, if it gets bombed, probably doing us all a favour, we'll get nice new blocks of flats to live in and that. It happened with Manchester, with the bomb that happened, and they bombed the Arndale Centre. Did us a favour. Got a nice new Marks and Spencers and that.
So this puts a whole new twist to the argument when people say bombing the world's poorest countries is wrong. Because I remember when the Afghan problem was on, people were saying bombing the world's poorest country is wrong, but it's like home improvement, according to you, then.
Yeah. Because they've got a brand new B&Q, have they, over now? They're popping down there every Sunday.
Anyway, let's not go on about it.
Yeah. Well, think what you're saying.
Yeah, I know.
My family was killed, but look, a carpet warehouse.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think, you know, people don't want to hear about this today from us. They want to hear, you know, the new features, the songs of phrase.
What songs of phrase?
It's the feature we started last week,
Yeah.
where we take clips of songs, we make up a phrase from the show.
I mean, a famous phrase, last week's world famous phrase was, "There's this airy Chinese kid."
Yeah.
You'll remember.
Yes.
Well, it was called Crosswords last week, but Phil emailed in a good suggestion. He said call it Songs of Phrase.
Brilliant. Songs of phrase. Songs of phrase. But perfect.
So
are we still going with Cheapest Chimps?
We're persevering with that, aren't we?
Got some Cheapest Chimps lined up. We'll be doing that before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Great.
Again, who else can say that?
So good. So for the next 2 hours, everyone should just bury their head in the sand, ignore the world's problems, and enjoy features such as Cheapest Chimps and songs of phrase.
And a bit of Turing Breaks.
Oh, class.
Oh. Suddenly in Italy, TB. Turing Breaks. It's like a rockbuster, Karl.
They were the good old days.
I know, yeah. Painkiller on XFM 104.9. But look, Rockbusters is gone. Forget Rockbusters. Long live Songs of Phrase. Over to you, Karl.
All right, well...
You know Rockbusters was one of the things they were protesting about last time. that was why I just had to listen to them. They just kept stopping me in the street as I was trying to get to the tube. You've got to stop Rockbusters, it's run out of steam, they said, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's why they always do it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They make their way to Leicester Square for 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Right.
Songs of Phrase. What it is...
Songs of Phrase. Go on.
We took a phrase from the show last week. It was, "There's this airy Chinese kid," right?
Yeah.
Today, we're going back to the good old line of, about you never see an old man eating a Twix.
Sure.
Right?
How long is that?
No, you'll never see an old man eating a Twix.
You'll never see an old man eating a Twix.
It's not as many as you think, though. It's not that many.
Well, how is it not that many?
Right, well, first of all, anyway, don't worry about that. I think there's about 5, I think. Hang on a minute.
Oh, God. Why do we leave him alone to do this,
I don't
Steve?
understand.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'll tell you what, we were flying them.
Six different songs.
6 different songs!
That's a lot to get, Karl.
But what happened is, I couldn't find a song with Twix, so we've changed the chocolate.
Oh, this is rubbish. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. No, you've got to be punished. We're not doing this. Do it next
no,
week.
you'll like
No, shut up, Karl. No,
Well,
no, we're
he's
not
put a
doing
lot
it.
of effort in.
So what?
You're right.
He's got to do it right. He's got to do it right.
No.
There's too many. We said too many. It's not. He's changed the thing. It's not a one phrase. It's ridiculous. It's
If
absolutely
only,
pointless.
Rick, if only his parents had spoken like that to him sometime in the past,
Do you know what I mean?
we wouldn't be having
Right.
this discussion
You're not
now.
doing it.
Come on.
No, we're not doing it, Steve. What do you think?
I'll tell you, we've got the prizes, but I'm
Yeah.
not even going to bother I'm not even going to
no,
bother.
no,
I think we'll just share them out amongst homeless.
Absolutely. No. There's troubles in the world, and I'm not going to let you faff around doing nonsense like that.
No, well-
it's ridiculous.
Well, let's do it for
No,
this
let's
week.
play a beautiful song. What do you think?
I'd love to hear a great song.
Yeah, the times they are changing. We've said that. Look at
Rick, I'm
Mother
beginning to wonder
Nature
if it's
on the run. Look at Mother Nature on the run, Steve.
Yeah.
Play it.
So we're not doing...
No.
It's your own fault.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
After the Gold Rush, one of the most beautiful, poignant songs ever. I
Great
think.
lyrics in that. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. Forget the 1970s, Rick. I'm beginning to wonder if that's just as truthful nowadays in the year 2003.
I've told you before, you've got no idea, you don't know anything about the world or politics, so
I don't know why you persist.
I don't know why I keep saying it myself, Rick. I'm a political incompetent. I don't know why I keep spouting on with this drivel.
Right.
It's The Guardian, I think, that's doing it to me. It's all second-hand information. I just read it in there, and I just
So it
think
was a good idea to
I
get
keep
on
thinking,
the,
exactly. I keep
get
thinking
on
I
the
can pass it
bandwagon.
off.
You don't
Yeah.
really care, do you, about anything in the world, really, as long
No,
as it affects you?
I haven't exactly.
Yeah.
Unless I'm
No.
personally affected by these
Yeah.
things, I don't care less.
Well, I'm the same.
You
Now,
know.
Karl, the big question, as we know at the moment, is whether we're going to let you do Songs of Phrase or not.
Rick, I should tell you now,
mad.
there has been a flood of... Oh, no, there hasn't. sorry, I was thinking there'd been a flood of emails, but it was people agreeing with you, Rick.
I know Tony Blair has been trying to get through.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just checking the emails. No, there's absolutely nothing supporting you, Karl.
So no one gives a side either way about
No, well, that's not fair. There were a couple of phone calls, weren't there? One was a guy saying you should. I think the other one was you, Karl. Was it phoning from the kitchen?
Can we do it? Can we do it? Right.
No.
If you don't like it, we won't do it next week. But
I've
made it.
I don't know why you did that. We thought of lots of stuff that you could do. You chose one where you have to have 10 words and 6 songs to choose. You haven't got Twix. I don't know what you've substituted Twix for.
I've got to say now, I'm going to sit on the fence here. I'm quite intrigued.
Okay, right. What have you substituted Twix for?
Well, I can't tell you.
Because you can.
No, I can't, because people have to listen to it and work out.
All right, let's just hear it. Let's hear it then.
No. They know what they have to know what the word is. They have to tell what the song is or the artist.
I prefer just to play it.
No, you've got to tell them what it is because they might not even know what word they're looking for.
Let's hear him out, Rick.
Right.
Please, democracy. That's what we're fighting for. Come on.
Right, you turn them up.
Right, okay, I'll put the headphones on. Go on then.
Right.
Okay, so hang on. The phrase originally was
you never see an old man eating a Twix.
Right, and we're trying to identify a number of songs which you've used to make up that phrase.
And you email in xfm.co.uk/Ricky with as many as you can get, and whoever gets the most right can
It's
win
so
some
complicated. This
It
is
is
so
not.
complicated.
Right, here we go.
I'm baffled by the email address. I couldn't figure
What was
that
the
out.
email address again?
xfm.co.uk/Ricky.
Right.
Right.
And there's some link on there, is there?
Yeah, that you just press and it comes through.
Brilliant.
That. Right, here we go then, right?
Well, I missed a little bit at the end. Let's hear it again.
Mars, ba ba ba.
Let's hear it again. Oh no.
Oh God. Okay, right, we'd say the prizes, Steve.
Right, so how many songs were there? Do we know?
I think it was 6.
You think there was 6?
And you'll never see an old man eat. It might be 5.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, why not email in the answers and how many there were, and you might be in with a chance of winning on DVD the original series of Citizen Smith with Robert Lindsay. That was good. Paul Whitehouse's Happiness, the first series of that on DVD. We've also got a couple of CDs here. The Best of Britpop, Live Forever, Oasis, Blur, Radiohead, and all the rest of them on there.
Right.
Supergrass's current album as well.
That's
I think it's a current album. Yeah, it is. And
Okay.
less convinced by this one. If I tell you that some of the artists include Delamitri and Deacon Blue, then I know you'll be rushing out later, Rick, to buy this. Scotland Rocks. A compilation of...
Is Wet on there?
Let's see.
What about Biss? What happened to Biss?
Let me see, I'm not gonna... I tell you, it doesn't... I mean, we've got Gun on there.
Oh, yeah.
We've got...
baby, lately.
Aztec Camera.
Yeah.
Big Country, obviously.
Proclaimer's not on there.
Wait a minute, where's Runrig? There they are. There they are. And obviously Rafferty, Baker Street.
Brilliant.
So that's definitely worth entering for, surely.
So xfm.co.uk/Ricky. Play it one more time.
Yeah.
Just right.
Class. Pure class. Well done. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll give it to you.
Oasis. Stop Crying Your Heart Out on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl's competition is in full swing now. I just will remind you, when playing songs of phrase and trying to guess the songs and artists, what do you want, songs or artists?
I think songs is
Yeah.
better.
Alright.
But that's ambiguous, isn't it, what a song title is? Where
Yeah, I
if you
think
know
it should
the
be
artist,
artists, definitely.
maybe the artist cleans it up really. Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we do artists?
Artists.
Okay, you know, if they know what it is, because that'd stop any ambiguity, won't it? And don't worry if you haven't got all of them, because the winner last week didn't have all of them, but it's the closest one. I understand when you're trying to guess what's in Karl's mind, you can only get so close.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He wants us to bring in Darren Brown. He go, because he won't be able to read my mind. And
Yeah.
I think he's right.
I think he might
I
do.
think he's the one person that could outwit Darren Brown.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, Karl. as
Well,
we have to.
should we just play it very quickly? Just play again.
Just if
Karl's
you're okay, you
competition?
want to join in. Go on then, one more time. Here, it's Songs of Phrase. Because you have to get, you know, it is very difficult. So, you know, song or artist, we give points if you're close to any of those, and we'll choose a winner. So, you know, do.
And what do points mean? Crap prizes.
XFM.
XFM.co.uk slash Ricky.
Right now, we got people to send in a little thing for you last week, didn't we? The film Freaks. You got a few sent in. You watched it, did you?
Yeah.
Now, I should just point out that the film Freaks, for those that don't know, was a movie that was released, I think, it was it was originally made in about 1932, something like that, and then it was delayed. It was banned for many years, because it did, in actual fact, feature, for want of a better phrase, real-life freaks.
Yeah.
Bearded ladies being one of the more kind of familiar ones.
There's a guy without arms and legs.
Without arms, there's all sorts. And it was actually it's quite a tender film, isn't it? And actually portrays them as a kind of dysfunctional family. It's not exploitative in that sense. But what do you make of it, Karl?
Well, you were watching it for the Freaks, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I wish it does take a while to get onto it.
What do you mean?
Well, straight away I was disappointed, right? Because at the start, like, you put it in, it's like, oh, brilliant. Here we go, you know. I said to Suzanne, we'll watch this, we'll have a good night.
Yeah. Have a romantic night.
That's it, her birthday. You've got your gloves, now we're going to watch some Freaks.
So, put it on, and it starts off, and it's like, you know, the following film, you think, ooh, it's like following films rated 15, which means, you know, might contain scenes of violence, bad language, and sex.
Yeah.
Mention nothing about pinheads.
Right.
So I thought they missed a trick there.
Yeah.
To be honest. Right? So I thought, well, let's carry on watching it.
And what exactly is a pinhead?
Oh, if you've seen it, you'd know.
Okay.
Right, so not the best thing in it either. So imagine that.
Okay, so you're watching it.
So sat there, I think, right, something comes on, and the little fella's on there, the little fella we were talking about, the Pillow Man.
Right.
Is he the best thing in it?
Now, what's the Pillow Man again?
He's a fella who years ago, he's got no arms and legs.
Right. He's
And
just a torso.
Just
and a
rolls,
head.
yeah. And there's a scene where you see him sort of rolling a cigarette up, just using his mouth, and it's like he lights it and stuff. And that's weird. And then what else is on it?
Smoking stench of growth.
And then there's a little fella on it who is fed up because he looks 5, but he's actually 34.
Right.
Right. But there's a woman who is 42 and looked 8. So they both had the opposite thing. They were both really fed up. And I kind of thought that shows that, you know, you always want what someone else has got.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a way, there's a story there in that.
No, you described the same there.
No, it was like...
No, they both. You just said they both looked young, but they are actually both older.
No. This was like a little man...
Yeah. Who was 35.
Who was 35.
And looked 8.
Yeah.
And so did she.
No, well, the other way round then.
What? So she was an 8-year-old that looked 35?
Yeah. Oh, maybe not then.
Anyway.
No.
But that wasn't that weird. I kind of thought it's a slow start and that.
Yeah.
And then...
It's not a difficult film to follow.
No.
Yeah, but I wasn't really listening to what it's all about. I was just looking at what they had. And they had like a fella who's running about on just...
They had like he was shopping.
You know, they had a fella with no legs and he's running about on his hands. And sort of got about on a skateboard, talking to someone about it. They said that's how E.T. was done. There's actually a little fella in E.T.
Right.
Who's just half of, sort of half a body.
Is that true?
I've no idea. I've never heard that before.
Why haven't we heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
I don't think he would fit in E.T. Because he's got no... Because where's the head? He's got no neck, E.T. It's a skinny little thing. There's a human neck couldn't fit in that skinny little neck.
Wow.
Well, you sure it wasn't Kenny Baker up to his old tricks?
What are you talking about, Karl? There's a fella with no legs in E.T.
In E.T. they had two fellas, right? I think they had a little, a midget fella.
Right.
Who did it, and then I think he was off sick, and they were like, oh, you know, what else are we going to do?
So they saw a guy on a skateboard going by.
And said, do you fancy some work?
Right.
And he's done it. I think someone told me. I mean, it might be wrong.
Exactly.
Might be wrong.
It might be, mightn't it? I mean, you've never been wrong before, so I don't know why you'd be wrong there. So what's the worst thing in it?
Now, it's intriguing to me because here's a film called Freaks, featuring real-life freaks, and you're sort of a bit nonplussed by it.
Just because it wasn't... Because it's built up. If you call a video Freaks, you've got to make sure that there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
What were you disappointed about? Was it that...
Because there was a few things on it, right? There was a woman who said she was half man, half woman, and it's like, well, you're not, are you? It was just like she had some makeup on. I thought, well, that's rubbish. And then there was a woman who could eat using her feet. That isn't that freaky. Do you know what I mean? If she's not hungry, she looks normal.
Yeah.
And that's when I was thinking... I mean, I'm not being... Right, Steve. You know I'm not being funny.
Oh, here we go.
No. But I'm just saying... If that woman wasn't eating, and you were sat next to her, in that film...
Yeah.
I'd probably be sort of drawn to you more than her. I'm not... I know you hate me saying it, but there's no point sort of pretending. Do you know what I mean?
Oi, Muttley, what are you sniggering about?
That face. What you mean there were things in it that were less... What are you saying?
I'm just saying...
Play a record. No. Seriously, I'll slap you. I'm going to slap you live on air.
Yeah, but you always go...
I'm slapping you live on air, I swear to God.
Alright, play a song then.
He's playing a song.
I'll play the song.
Keep the favour up. No, keep the favour up. Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City, from the album Nebraska.
So melancholy, that one. I love that one. Wow. So Freaks then. All in all, not as amazing as you first hoped.
It was built up too much. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
It's like
Is
films.
that my fault for getting you excited? I just can't believe it. I hand you this thing on a plate.
I know, but,
you know.
And I'm not being out of order, Steve. I'm just being honest. We've always said that about this show. We only talk about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, being honest and that.
Yeah, no, sure.
And I've always said the first time I saw you.
Sure, no, you've always been honest,
and
I've always been honest with you. I've always said that, you know, you've got the intelligence and insight of a gnat.
Yeah, but if I keep quiet, people don't know that.
Sure.
Alright,
incredibly they do, Karl, because you look stupid as well.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
No, but Karl was being nice then. You don't.
I'm just saying, you're a good bloke, and now I've got to know you.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
first time was weird when I saw you.
Yeah.
No, leave it. Don't just interrupt. Just let it go.
No,
right.
I'm just saying. The first time it was weird, and then weeks go by.
Sure.
And the weird thing is, I kind of thought maybe he's not that odd looking.
Yeah.
And then you went to LA for 3 weeks.
Sure.
And when you came back, it was like the first time again.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I just.
Okay. Wait. No. Stop it now.
Yeah.
Right, everyone, stop it now.
No, but I just think I'm a little bit more consistent because I've always thought you were an idiot.
I don't want this. Don't argue. He was just okay.
No, I just you know what I mean. My opinion has never changed. I've always thought you're an idiot.
No. It's just all nice. Let's look. Peace.
Shut up, fatso.
Peace, not war.
He's just such a stirrer, isn't he? No, he loves it. Don't think I didn't see you whispering behind the microphone about what to say to Karl.
Look what I've just drawn, Karl, subconsciously.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I drew a picture of him. It's not going to be on the website.
It's not been on the website.
No, it's going to be. I drew a little cartoon of him. No, not yours. I drew one of Karl. Right. Okay. What were we talking about? That was a
the Freaks thing it's over and done with. It was alright if you want to get it out on video.
Sure.
You know, it's probably worth a look. Yeah. There's a couple of things on there that get you thinking more, you know, it's like how their life is and stuff, do you know what I mean? How it's affected, and like the little pillow man, or the fella who's got half of his body missing.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that you think, oh.
But what's the one that was disappointing? You said it was a half man, half woman.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that one.
Do you mean hermaphrodite or half? I can't remember it. Do you mean it was one sort of like it had bits of both?
It was just like half a face done in makeup and long hair, then on the other side it had it shaved.
I love the idea that you go to this circus and there's people in there that have been sort of persecuted all their life, and they think, well, maybe I can make some money, and then you boo them because they're not freakish enough. I love the idea they go, boo, you're not freakish enough, boo. Oh, you've got bits of legs, boo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But there was, I mean, talking about that, you see, why did they join the circus and that? Because there are things they can do. I was telling you in the week that I was reading something on some news website about some sort of Olympic-style games where they're going to see, like, disabled people against able-bodied.
Right. Let's be careful here, shall we?
No, I'm just saying, though.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So there is other things. It doesn't mean just because you haven't got legs you can't do other stuff.
Yeah.
And in this race, there's, like, disabled people who are beating able-bodied people.
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
Would you go and see that? I don't know.
But, I mean, it depends. What do you mean? They're beating them? At what?
He didn't state what the little races were and that.
Little races.
He can't help himself.
No, little races. Oh, look, there's the disabled with their little races.
Yeah, they're having another little race.
Oh, dear.
Would you go? Would you go
and
watch that?
Do you remember when Jimmy thought that Paralympics stood for Paraplegic Olympics?
The Paralympics?
Yeah, it means parallel Olympics.
Yeah.
He thought it meant paraplegic Olympics. That would be a good site, wouldn't it? Mainly blow football. Right. Okay. So, what was that thing I told you to look up in the week?
You were saying, I don't believe you. We're going on about, we were talking about the half man, half woman.
Yeah.
And you were saying...
You can get a sex change on the NHS, just to see what you say about that. Did you look it up?
I didn't, because I think I was wasting my time.
Oh.
I don't think...
I'm giving all these things. Little play records to annoy me now.
You wouldn't do that. You do...
You've annoyed Steve. You've annoyed Steve on air.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's just too late, Karl.
But we were talking about other stuff as well. I mean, you know, talking about operations and that. You were saying, you know, can you have a sex change done on the NHS and that?
No, you can.
Well, you say you can. I think that's a bit... It's not that important to have done, I don't think.
Well, it depends if you desperately want it. It depends if you feel that you're born actually a different sex.
Right. And then you went on to say there's other things that are done. Get this, Steve. Someone, if the cat's got a bad liver...
Kidney.
Alright. Bad kidney. Can have it done for £5,000.
Yeah, you can have a kidney operation.
But what's wrong with that? If you've got £5,000 you want to waste it on a cat, then fine.
Get another one. We went through loads of cats, I've told you before. As a kid, we got through loads. It's not worth it. And there's no cat that is that amazing that you'd go, gonna miss that one, it's never gonna be the same. Cause
what do you mean? What would it have to be able to do to be worth it? Well, it's normally to do with people's affection for their cat. They've had the pet for many years. What do you mean it should be able to juggle? Or do impressions, and that's why it's worth £5,000?
Supposing there was a fella, right? He feels he was born a woman. He's not happy, right? He doesn't want this he's got a knob and a couple of testicles that he does not want, right? He wants a lovely pair of tits and a minge, right? And he finds out that he gets a cut price. He gets, you know, a cut price sort of operation, a dodgy backstreet transsexual maker, right? £5,000, knockdown price £5,000. It's done with a blunt knife and some chloroform, right? But
why have you got to have it all done?
What? You mean just like have the knob trimmed and wear a bra?
Well, yeah. I mean, are you saying if you have it all done, you get some sort of offer if you give them something?
No. I was being flippant. I'm saying I was trying to get down to £5,000. Supposing there was a fellow who had £5,000 to give away, right? Some old woman with her cat is going to die. Or some fella who wants his knob chopped off and a lovely pair of tits put on. Who would you give the £5,000 to?
So, hang on a minute. So, there's a fella who wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
And there's a woman who's got an ill cat.
Yeah.
Ooh. You see, I'd be annoyed. Is this £5,000? Is this my savings, or...?
No, just you get given £5,000, and you go, but you've got to give it to a charity of your choice. And it's got to be one of them. You give them £5,000.
I'll tell you what I'd do.
What?
I'd find out what the cat looks like, get a replacement, right? Say it's had the op. She's loving it, thinking it's happy again.
Yeah.
Give the fella the money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, so you're basically saying that you'd rather have the bloke have his knob cut off and stuff.
I'd have to have a chat with him first and say, what's your problem? And say, why do you need this doing? And
I think they go through that. I think they go to counselling and live with a woman for a...
Like a second opinion thing. I'd just be saying, right, are you sure?
Yeah.
But £5,000 on a cat, it can only be for people who have got loads of money, right? And it's like, well, if £5,000, it's nothing.
Well, I think this debate will rage on. Should we play a record and come back to this? Think about it, though.
Yeah. Bit of White Stripes.
Placebo. Bitter End on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl, you're looking all flustered and confused again.
Still sort of don't get it.
What don't you get?
Well, that's a long list, Rick.
Yeah.
The, you know, if you have your...
Knob cut off.
Yeah.
It's because they feel like they're actually born a woman, and they're not living right. They can't live properly with all these things, you know. Well, I mean, there are people that are genetically the other gender. They've just grown, you know. There was one woman, actually, who was a scientist researching it and found out genetically she was a man. She had Y chromosomes, etc. But this is something different. This is both psychological and everything else.
Sometimes it's that thing again, isn't it? You can't always have, you know, what you want. It's like, I'd like to have hair. Do you know what I mean?
But it's a bit easier. You can wear a wig. You can't go around, really. Well, you can put on, you know, false breasts and tuck it in.
That's just it as well, isn't it, you see? You say, you know, you could have the operation done and that, and yeah, you might sort of feel as free as a woman down below and that, but at the end of the day, you still look like a fella.
Yeah, here's a bra and a split tennis ball.
No.
They'd be just like Auntie Nora.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Well, yeah, but it's about their outward appearance as well and how they feel publicly. Don't forget, a transsexual is not a transvestite. This isn't just a builder in a dress. They have the hormone replacement as well, so they get estrogen, so they and electrolysis, so they have, you know, their face looks different, they don't go bald, they're slighter, they you know what I mean? They're the real thing. A transsexual is now the real thing. Biologically and politically and...
But they'll still be a man, won't they?
Well, it'd be embarrassing if they don't tell their new partner and there's pictures of them, you know, down the pub when they were 24, but you probably sort of get over that, don't you? They go, it's just a fellow with a beard drinking the yard of ale. That was me.
Well, interesting story. Probably should have told you this before the honeymoon.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can have all that done, right? There's stuff, you know, you could have your bits done, right? You can have, like, false teeth, but you know that when you see an old person with a good set of teeth, it's like, well, they're false. There's no way you've got good teeth like that if you were brought up in, like, the 30s.
But what would you do if Suzanne said, look, I've got a terrible secret, and she showed you a picture of this kid, this little boy, growing up, you know, playing football, and then the pictures stop at 20, just before you met her, and she goes, and she shows you a nice pair of bollocks in a jar, she goes, they were mine.
Well, first thing is he'd take back the gloves you bought her last week.
Would you go, oh, I can't go out with you now? Or would you say, well, you're the same person? I've blown his mind.
Yeah,
I really have freaked it out there.
She is into sport.
Hey? Should we play a record while you give her a call?
No, but what I'm saying is here, right, it doesn't matter what you have done. We can wrap this up here, because I've got it sorted, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you have done. At the end of the day, it's obvious that you've had it done. If you're a fella and you've been changed to a woman, I could spot you, right? Mm-hmm. If...
You can't, though.
I tell you what, I was at Suzanne's mum and dad's, right, up north last week, and I went to the off-licence, right?
Yeah.
And I went in there, never seen this fella before, right? Soon as I walk in, I eye him up behind the counter and go, alright, mate.
Oh, hello.
I notice he's got a wig on, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was... I kind of looked and I thought, yeah, it's a wig, whatever. And then I thought, I wonder if it is. And as I got to the till, I said, how much is that? He said, you know, 50 pence. I said, great. And as he turned to the till...
Were you buying Suzanne a gift?
As he turned to the till and he did that sort of angle, you got the profile, you see the bit sticking out of the back, you go, that's a wig.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And it's like a little. It just the last inch just lifts away from the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now everybody who goes in that shop will probably know him as having a wig and that. He keeps him happy, but everybody knows. So what I'm saying is, it's like.
But could I just say, transsexuals put in a little bit more effort than a fella who's plonked a rug on top and held it down with some duct tape. Do you know what I mean? you know, the only giveaway often with a transsexual is the big hands. They can't do anything about that. That's the only thing, you know.
Right,
But I mean, transvestites are different. You know, they are builders in the dress. You go in a supermarket, you turn around, you see a 6-foot woman, huge head. You go, all right, love. Do you know what I mean? You know, down below, she's packing more than us 3 put together.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? That's one thing. If Eddie Izzard, right? You're meeting Eddie Izzard, right? Who likes to pop on a dress now and again, right? What's the politics with that? Do you go? Because he walks in, he's all in evening gown, and he goes, all right, Karl. And you go, all right, Eddie. And it's in a busy pub, and you go, oh, why is he? And you go, do you say, do you want a pint of bitter? And slap him on the back like you would a mate? Or do you go, that's lovely. That's a lovely dress. Do you know what I mean? What do you do? What do you do with a transvestite?
Would you compliment a transvestite?
On their lovely dress?
If he was wearing a nice dress? In the same way that you would if Suzanne was wearing a nice
Probably in a
frock?
different way. I'd probably say, that dress, you know, looks nice. Be even nicer on a woman.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So you try and change the way they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd want to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of them things I can't get my head around, to be honest, right? I can handle hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Is it true to say that you've never been able to handle a transvestite?
So I'm just going to add that to the list then, Karl, of things you can't figure out. It's now 4 volumes. Snoop Doggy Dogg, obviously, in the classic What's My Name?
Yes. XFM 104.9. We've done that, so that's good. We've done...
So we've solved the whole transvestism issue.
Yeah, let me just check. We've done hairy Chinese kids, people having their knobs cut off.
I think we've touched on the war as well. We've sorted
done
that out.
We've done freaks, haven't we? We've done people with no arms and legs, haven't we?
Take that.
Just don't think there's any other areas of possible offence.
Have we done Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin? Well, we touched on your Auntie Nora, but haven't mentioned her fighting for 5 minutes, or her showing you her clunge. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if I think we might have.
I'd definitely like to hear the word clunge more often.
Yeah.
On this show.
Her Mary.
Anyway, leave
euphemisms.
that.
Yeah, clunge,
I'm still
Mary.
I'm still none the wiser on that, but we'll leave it.
I love the fact you're such an old man, aren't you? You're such a reactionary old man, the way you talk. You are the sort of bloke, I imagine you and your father stood in a pub, if a man came in a dress, oi, you're a bloke in a dress, take it off.
We were talking, I don't know, last week we were talking about things that you can sort of say and do when you're sort of like 40. I thought another one, nod to a policeman.
Yep. Definitely.
They're on the beat, they're going along, you're going your duty, you're going on, yeah, I know you're alright, I know you're alright.
Yeah.
Never mind these youngsters shouting at you and knocking your cap off.
Exactly.
It's that you can nod at
if
a copper.
If you're 40, you can nod at a copper, because it's like going, I know what you're up to, it's a difficult job and you're doing it well.
Yeah, I respect you now, I didn't when I was young, I don't know what I was thinking of, well done mate.
Well, I like the one you mentioned last week, you're now of an age where a van driver might ask you to back him into a parking space.
Yeah, well, you don't feel, you go, get out
to
of the way.
To me, he wouldn't even consider
No, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're under 30, you don't even. It's like I was thinking today. If I was in a pub with my dad and say his mates, and they're all sort of 40 or 50, there is not one of them that would turn to me first with a pint of bitter and go, "Taste that. See if is that off?"
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't want
would
your
never
opinion.
consider me. My opinion is the last one they're interested in.
Yeah.
Is that off?
Things you can do over, I think, maybe 50. Wear a flat cap and not like a prat.
Yeah.
You know, you're wearing
It's
it
a
because your
fashion
head's
statement.
cold.
Yeah, exactly.
You're wearing it because your head's cold. You're 50 years old, flat cap, fine.
Yeah, or just wear a suit and tie without having to go to an event or a convention.
Just
or
get
to
up
work.
and pop on a little old suit and tie.
Just pop on a suit and tie.
I'll tell you what, I love seeing old boys in a suit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got shiny shoes and they're 75.
I've got
and they go
photographs.
down the pub and I think it's brilliant.
I got photographs of one of my late grandfathers, he must have been in his 60s, on the beach wearing a suit. Wearing a suit on the beach. I got a feeling he's even got a knotted handkerchief and a full 3-piece suit.
That's great.
It's brilliant.
It's a decency all
Because
time.
my grandfather, in my mind, was always wearing a suit. I never saw him not wearing a suit. I think he wore a suit to bed. I can't imagine him taking that suit off. It was always...
Maybe it was an all-in-one, pull-on one.
But he didn't... I mean, what the weird thing is, though, it wasn't like he worked in a bank all his life. I think he was a builder. And then he retired and thought, it's time I should start wearing a suit.
I know. Oh, I love it. I just, you know what I mean? It's because they've got to do something. Then they've got to get up and they make an effort, and they're still part of the world. As opposed to me already just walking around in my pants.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's no point in getting dressed. I'm not going out.
Yeah.
Or everything's got an elasticated waistband.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even consider a pair of trousers.
It's slip-on shoes, pull-on trousers.
I have never seen a man with more Velcro in his closet. That has got to be for you the best time-saving device ever. Velcro.
It's great. Just me and a baby girl, a dry white baby. I went to the
awards. Has your tuxedo got Velcro?
Well, I was still talking about that. The award show. I went home. When did we stay there? We went to 12 or something. Anyway, I went home and I was watching telly at the end, right? And I was eating. I had these sesame seeds 'cause I was hungry. I had a few, and in the end, at the bottom of this jar of sesame seeds, right? Oh, there's tiny little seeds, but I didn't want to waste them, so I sort of poured them into my mouth and sort of like ate them like millet, like a budgie binging.
Yeah.
I went to bed and got up the next day. I thought, oh, I felt a bit sweaty. I had a resolve, and there was loads of seeds still in my chest.
What, in the hair on your chest?
Yeah. I had to pick them out. It took me ages to pick them out before I had a bath. So they must have stayed there all night, but not with the cheese and alcohol that was coming through my pores. These seeds had they started growing. I'd have to mow my chest. Oh dear.
Your girlfriend's a lucky woman.
Sesame seed chest. What we got, Karl?
Oh, do you remember we were also talking about names you cannot call kids now? It's like there are certain names.
I was thinking that, like, there's great old blokes' names, but they have to be a baby once.
Yeah, but
I name this child Alf.
You can.
Stan.
There are sort of these names which you just never name a child now. I mean, Karl, frankly, is
oh, that's all right.
That is quite trendy.
But
Sid. Alf Sid. You would never name a child Sid. Stan.
Bert. I name this child Bert.
Did I ever tell you about my Uncle Alf?
No.
He wasn't a proper uncle, right? But he was just one of my dad's mates and that. And he was getting on a bit. He must have been about 60, which is pretty old when you're younger and that. And he was the same. He used to always wear a suit and that. But it was never in good nick. It was always like a rough suit. But it doesn't matter. Still, making half the effort and that.
Yeah.
And he used to sleep in a dinghy. Right, my Uncle Alf.
What? In his house?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, in a flat, he's in like a little bed sit. Because he only had a little bed sit, and he was into boats and stuff. So he had this dinghy.
2 birds with one stone.
Had this little dinghy, had a little flat, thought, well, it's tight space and that. He had a dinghy as a bed, and he had 2 tellies, right? He had 2 tellies, one of them that the sound worked on, the other one only the vision worked. So if you wanted to watch a programme,
you had to turn both on.
Put them both on like BBC One, turned one up and watched the other one.
Wow. That's extraordinary.
From his dinghy?
Sat in his dinghy.
That is brilliant.
It was an inflatable dinghy, it wasn't like a wooden...
Yeah, an inflatable one, big
Did you ever go around and visit him?
Yeah, now and again.
Was it weird seeing a 60-year-old bloke in a suit, in a dinghy inside, watching 2 tellies?
It's weird at the time, I thought.
But which of the TVs stopped working properly first? I mean, did he... let's say the sound went on one of them.
Yeah.
Did he carry on watching the other one, hoping that the other one was fine?
No, he went and got a new telly, and then the vision went on that, and he went, oh no. He went, hold on though.
Wait a minute.
I've got another telly in the wardrobe that I haven't used. It must have been like that.
Yeah.
Wow, he sounds brilliant. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still around, yeah. I haven't seen him for years, but he used to...
Be all right.
Was he married?
I think that's what happened. I think his wife passed away, and that's when he had all this... he had a boat. And it's like, oh, where am I going to put it in a bed sit? And it was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sleep in that. So, yeah.
I wonder if he ever brought any women back. Just the idea of bringing them back, getting down to it. Shall we move into the bedroom?
Ahoy! Oh, that is fantastic. Missy Elliott, Gossip Folks on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Now, I know we're not meant to mention the adverts, and I'm not slagging off the advert. It's that National Lottery advert with the little Welsh fella saying, "Your money from the National Lottery goes towards mountain rescue." We put it out there. We've saved a lot of people. Now that's fine. That's great. Well done. What I'm annoyed at is why those people are allowed to go up the mountain in the first place.
Yeah.
Don't go up there, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You're at your own risk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's ridiculous. Just posh, beardy twats climbing mountains and sticking a flag up there. Why climb? I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
Am I paying, is there any point, Rick, where I am paying for people to get rescued from mountains?
I'm not sure. I think the lottery's doing it now.
Fine, because I'll tell you, if it was my money, I would be livid.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? I mean...
you should have to take out insurance if you want to climb up a mountain.
You should pay for it.
Yeah.
If we save you, it'll cost a lot of money. You owe you. I'll be paying it back for the rest of your life. That's the risk.
Yeah.
Not falling to your death.
Exactly.
But never being able to pay it. They're all posh and rich anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just like a cat gets stuck up a tree and the farmer come out because he doesn't know any better. Imagine if that was a bloke. I'm stuck up again. Stop going up there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying again, though. It's only a cat, so leave it up there. Get another one.
And there's the skeleton of Tiddles. I couldn't be bothered to go and get a ladder.
No, but it's the same. A few weeks ago, everyone was making a fuss over that sheep. That was the first cloned sheep, and it died. Clone another one.
Oh, wow.
If only you could do the same with mountaineers.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks the same, the beard's the same, they all look like Brian Blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you about the time that my father, when I was younger, we went on holiday, my dad he bought a little boat, little sort of wooden boat, like a 3-seater, and he and a friend of his went out with me in the boat. I was maybe 12 or 13. Went out, and we sort of I think we were on we had the little motor, outboard motor, chugging out. We just thought we thought this was real seafaring stuff.
Brilliant.
We'd lost sight of the beach because we'd gone round a corner of like a mountain, or like a, what do you call it, like a cliff. And so we were just round the corner, and there was this buoy, just floating in the water. Not a boy, but like a buoy. And very tricky to explain that on the radio. It's the same word, isn't it? Boy, a boy, and a boy.
Yeah.
And so we float past that and we're just chugging along. The motor conks out. Oh, I can't believe it. We have to row back in. So they're rowing away, I'm just sat there. And we noticed that every time we sort of think we've got past this buoy, it just seems to be back where it started again. And we realised that the tide is taking us to, but not taking us out, taking us towards these rocks. And we've got ravaged rocks. And we were a bit pretty scared, because I can't swim very well, or I couldn't at the time. I think my dad had maybe bought, he didn't, I'll be honest with you, I inherited a lot of things from him, one of which was his carefulness with money. just the one life jacket.
How deep was the water?
Which I seem to remember he tore off my back and put on himself. So the water's pretty down. I mean, I'm not saying we would have necessarily died, but it was pretty scary because the boat, we were going to crash into these rocks and stuff. It was getting pretty unnerving. And so they're sort of rowing like mad, trying to we're just not making any progress. And we're beginning to think that this might be the end. And this boat, this kind of ferry boat, comes chugging by doing tours. Ching, 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 ching. And it comes by, and my dad goes, oh, wow. We were going, brilliant, they can help us, they'll throw us a rope, they'll tow us back in. He was going, you've got to be careful though, hang on, because according to the laws of the sea, if he rescues us, Steve, he can claim my boat. The laws of the sea mean he can claim my boat as salvage.
I love the idea of
that's like a reward.
Doing that.
But what I like is, his 12-year-old son might die, he's thinking about the boat.
I know, but also, the other thing, of course, is that I like the idea of this ferry master going,
yeah.
The boat be mine now, or take your son.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
I need a new bed. That'll be just right. King size.
Oh dear, that's lovely.
So we've done a lot of stuff today. We've covered.
We've done Arnott's Minge. We've done. Oh no, what else have we done? We've done chop your bollocks off for free.
Yeah. We've done the operations for £5 grand, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah. Leave the cat up there.
Could spend money.
We've done most stuff. I think we've done a lot. We still haven't done Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin, but we can leave that till next week if you want.
Yeah. See, I still think there's something in the spending money in areas that it's not needed. Like, the fella, if you haven't, if you've only just tuned in, you've missed a debate about a fella who needs his tackle taken off.
A debate makes it sound like it was a bit more informed than it actually was.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm just, all that time, that was probably half an hour ago, and I've still been thinking about other things that it would be good if more money could be ploughed into things to get them out there.
Like what?
Do you know what I mean? Well, I was looking, I'm a fan of going on the web and that.
Sure.
And there's inventions, right? We were talking about a few weeks ago, inventions that are out there, and there's some that, are well known by famous people who have brought stuff out.
Do you know why we didn't go on with this? Because I remember saying to you about Einstein, who's who you think's clever, you weren't impressed with it. I said Einstein, and you went, this is a quote, you went, Einstein, well, yeah. Now, I've never needed, you got it wrong, you went, I've never needed MC squared in my life, but the fella who made the video recorder, I watch one a week.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Brilliant.
And it's the fact that everybody's got one good idea in them,
Yeah.
right? Like Newton said about the apple.
Yeah.
I did Rockbusters.
Yeah.
Right? And there was this thing that was on the website.
So they
right?
shouldn't be spending money on investigating sort of medical procedures that might help people. They should be
because
spending it
that's-
on what, Karl?
Well, I found this thing, right, Ricky? Brilliant.
Yeah.
What it was, little sort of mops.
What?
Little mops, like little mop heads.
Like floor mops?
Yeah.
Right.
Fit them on your cat feet. If you've got a cat... right, if you've got a little cat...
Yeah.
Put these little things on the feet, and there was a picture of one, just like walking around the kitchen, like that. Looking a bit like that.
Nick,
right?
you can't do looking like that on the radio.
No, but it's just looking a bit sort of fed up, but he didn't really know what was going on. Walking around, you see like the woman of the house sat in the background having a cup of tea.
Yeah.
The cat's there walking about on the kitchen lino, mopping the floor. That's what I put my money into.
Can we get shares in this?
That's an invention.
How good is that?
Yeah.
Can we get shares in that?
It's good though, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, I'll market that. If so, I'll, yeah, that's amazing. I just like the idea of people struggling with their cat to get. Hold on though, wait a
But
minute.
then, I'd
What
say-
if I had a bad kidney?
Ah, well then it's worth paying £5,000.
I suppose a year, because it would cost a
It's
cleaner that,
working.
wouldn't it?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's loads of other things out there that gets loads
Of
of praise.
course, you can stick a brush in its head and make it go down the toilet. It'll be genius, Karl.
No, but there's you see, you say that. If Newton came up with it, you'd be loving it. And there'd be loads of them out there. And everything, right? That's what annoys
Imagine
me.
Newton coming up with that. Imagine Newton coming up with that, Karl. Think of it.
Well, there's other things that gets loads of praise. Penicillin. Everyone, who came up with that? Who came up with that?
Fleming, was it?
Yeah, so discovered it on a...
Right, I'm 30. Don't think I've ever used it. I've had Nurofen and Benylin. Right, so there's one thing. What something else was talking to you about the
Oh,
week?
God, you like video. Okay, so video recording...
Telescope was another thing you seem to think's important.
Well, no, you asked me about great inventors. I know something. So I said Alexander Graham Bell, the telephone, everything from that, linked from that. John Logie Baird, television, Marconi, the radio. I said Galileo, I was naming you stuff. It wasn't that. I was just saying that I think those things are more important than Rockbusters. I think they're better ideas.
Telescope? Even a telescope?
Karl, play a record, because... There's a website, I must try and find it during this record. It's got loads of inventions, I think you're going to love it. Lou Reeves, always a joy.
Yeah. XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Karl, someone pointed me in the direction of this website, and basically, I swear to God, these are real inventions, okay, that real inventors have, applied for patents for, you know, so that they own the copyright.
Why
on the
don't
idea.
I come up with one, a real one,
Yeah.
and then you do that
Well, I
one,
think some
and,
of these-
and Karl has to vote on which he thinks the better invention.
I think some of these, Karl, you are going to be absolutely excited by. If you love the little mops that go on cats' feet, I think you'll be
Okay,
excited
well, I'll
by
throw
some
one
of
up to start with. Have you got one there ready?
Yeah.
The X-ray machine.
All right.
Oh.
So we've got the X-ray machine on the one
X-ray
side.
machine, Karl. Think of that.
So, you've come to me
It
with this
doesn't need.
idea.
It goes through a pay thing because it doesn't need light. It excites. It can. Well, you know what an X-ray
So
machine
what's
can do.
happening is, right, I'm sort of head of some business, I've got a load of money.
Yeah.
You're coming to me with an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve's coming with me to an idea. I've got, say, £5,000 and
I've come with you. I said, look, I can do transrectal operation. You go, I'm not interested. I've said, my cat needs a kidney operation. You go, I'm not interested. Right? I've come with you with an X-ray. Meanwhile, Steve walks in with.
Well, firstly, I'm going to offer you, this is patent 5571247. You've got the X-ray machine. I'm going to come to you with the self-containing enclosure for protection from killer bees.
Tell me more.
All right. Well, it's like
Tell me more.
A self-containing enclosure for protection from killer bees comprising an enclosure formed of a flexible, transparent plastic material, basically that will protect us from any killer bees that might be in the area. Useful?
Yeah.
Don't decide yet. Okay, I'll come up with another one. Refrigeration.
Refrigeration. The combination toy dog and vacuum cleaner. Let me read a bit more, don't judge yet. A toy dog closely resembling a real dog and having a hollow interior in which is mounted a vacuum cleaner having a suction hose which is retractable from the tail end of the dog. This enables vacuuming a dog after a haircut and grooming without causing fear to the dog. Because it thinks another dog is in the room.
Sorry. This is a decoy dog to make the dog not realise it's being vacuumed, thinking it's making a friend.
There's a picture of it.
Carl.
Do you see what we're talking about there? That's a dog that looks... It's a fake dog.
Also, do you see that why the cat with the mops is on Steve's side, and why sort of X-rays, refrigeration, things that are on my side, and Newton's and MC squared, as you... Can you see the difference in these can you see the pattern emerging and the difference?
Yeah, but you see, to me,
which are you impressed by? Are you impressed by the sanitary appliance for birds? I'll have a look at it. It's if you've got a domestic bird, maybe a budgerigar or something, but you're tired of it crapping everywhere. These are very tiny nappies that go on a
That
pet.
is real, isn't it?
Pet. Look, there's a picture. There's a diagram.
Can
there.
I put the microwave up against that one? I know I need the big guns to come out now.
Carl, what are you thinking? I know you're
Budgie
excited.
nappies or the microwave?
It's weird because...
Carl, are you tired of petting your dog or cat? I bet you are. That's why you need this patent pet petter. It is an arm on a piece of wood that will go up and down and stroke and pet your dog for you if you've not got time to do it.
Well, I can only put up interferon, the cancer cure, against that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. You see, a lot of these things...
These are all genuine inventions?
Yeah. And if the time was right, we'd say, get 'em made. Do you know what I mean? If there was a bad swarm in London, I'd be saying, get the bee-man on.
Yeah.
Right?
What, lose the X-ray machines, I don't care about broken bones for now.
Well, at that moment in time, that would be more important than... Do you know what I mean? We know people have been stung, we don't need to look inside them.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's all about... It's like the telescope now isn't impressive.
Sure.
If you want to see something in the distance, get on the transport and go and see it. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to look at things in the distance.
Right,
sure. Whereas budgerigars are shitting and pissing all over people's homes.
Could we put these... I'll tell you what, Carl. So it's looking at supernova and trying to find out more about the universe, its conception and its eventual end.
Forget that, Rick, because I've got the cheese-filtered cigarette.
Oh, now tell me more.
This is a cigarette where the filter is actually made from cheese. Apparently, cheese acts as a very good filter for tobacco, so the smoke passes through the cheese, thus you will induce a kind of smoky cheese.
And also, smoking, might make you a little bit peckish, and you can just nibble that, so there's no dog end lying around the pavement. Or budgie shit. It's a cleaner place, and you haven't been stung.
Brilliant. Right, now listen, so that's that done.
Yeah.
We've done that as well.
Yeah.
We're running out of time, we've got like 5 minutes left. Winner for Songs of Phrase.
Alright, give us the answers.
Right. We did this at the start. We haven't even got time for the film thing today. Oh. But we'll do that next week. Songs of Phrase. It was a phrase you never see an old man eating a Twix.
I love the fact that we haven't got time. Like, we've had such important stuff, and it's been so jam-packed and interesting. Not that it's been drivel with gaps we could have filled much better.
Yeah.
Don't look at it like that, like,
What, with his film quiz? Come on.
Oh, dear.
So, Songs of Phrase. You never see an old man eating a Twix. We had to change it to Mars Bar. Here's what we had. Jerry and the Pacemakers. Echo and the Bunnymen.
David Bowie.
And the Beach Boys finished it off.
Oh, what do you mean I thought that one was? What do you mean? Who's the winner? Oh, it doesn't matter. You've got to give the answer. Who was that one you didn't know it was us?
It was Neil Young, wasn't it?
Jim Crochet, is it? Old Man River, it's called. Jim Crochet.
Old Man River?
Yeah.
Jim Crochet sang Old Man River? I don't think so. What was it?
Who cares?
Right.
Well, people... I can't believe this.
Old Man River, it was.
Let's let's give the prize to...
Jim Crochet wouldn't have sung Old Man River.
Well, let's give the...
That was Paul Robeson.
Let's give the prize to Mitchell Sterling, who has got some of the answers right.
On XFM 104.9.
And we'll be playing that great quiz again next week.
Next week. Ricky Gervais with it on XFM Sports. And if you want to send an email, it's rickygervais.co.uk or check out the website on XFM's All the Comms. Good night, thank you for 3:30. Coming up is Narrow Levine and Stoopy Nouns. SIBO, The Bitter End on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me is both Stephen Merchant and Karl, the K-Man, Pilkington.
Oh.
So you've already got that. That's safe. It's only 4 minutes past. You've had placebo and you've got us three. So
you're definitely going home with that.
Yeah,
whatever
that's
happens.
safe. That's on its way to the hospice.
Exactly. You've banked that.
Yeah. Now, do you want to gamble all that to go on and listen for another 2 hours? Well, you could walk away now and you're up.
Yeah, you're up. You're already up.
Right, that's brilliant.
You have not wasted any time.
Do you want to gamble that against another 2 hours? It might be shoddy, it might go downhill, but it might get even better, Karl. What do you say they do? Listen for another 2 hours?
Yeah.
See, we shouldn't have done that.
We shouldn't have asked Karl, because a lot of them now are already taking what they've got. And what they've got is great, Rick. What they've got is lovely.
Yeah.
They're loving that. They're going to enjoy that.
We have got monkey news. We've got cheapest chimps. That's not the same thing. How many radio stations have got two ape-related simian features?
Rick, can I point out now, a lot of people are making that mistake. A lot of people are thinking that monkey news is exactly the same as cheapest chimps.
It's not.
Let's keep that clear.
It's not. It's in the same ballpark, but it's not the same.
There are apes. They're involved.
They're involved. Yeah. We've also got some great music. Yeah. We've got an amusing sketch about a fly. And Mystique dropping in.
Let's hope the Mystique ladies are coming in. Singing
I want to kick off with a song that is, you know, you've got like half a dozen posing songs that when you're sort of like between 14 and 18, they were the ones you'd put on to get ready to go out, or just pose around, or be that pop star, or think you're on stage, or whatever, or in the video. Yeah. And embarrassingly, I dug this out, and I remembered I used to post this like a mother when I was about 14, right? This is Street Life by Roxy Music. You used to do...
Mine was Oops Upside Your Head.
Yeah.
It was just me on the floor in my bedroom. One day I thought there'll be other people in this imaginary pose.
yeah. Elbows going everywhere, knocking over vases.
Yeah. But then I remember later, it was Black Lace's Superman, which is something similar. Do you remember that? That was brilliant.
Well,
spray, ski, da-ding, da-ding.
If you've, out there in Radioland got any funny jokes, then call in.
Email them in, because we need some.
Oh. Street Life, Roxy Music off the Stranded album. That's what I used to jump around to.
What would you have been wearing while you were listening to that?
Well, probably Brutus Gold jeans.
Classy.
Or Green Flash pumps.
Sure. Any socks?
I would have had socks, yeah. I'd have probably been wearing the shirt my mum got me from Tesco's, which was again a Brutus shirt, and it had women in bikinis eating bananas on a chaise longue.
Of course it did. What, lots of small ones, or just one big one?
Lots of little small ones. Yeah, so so that was that.
A trilby?
I didn't wear a trilby.
Did you have a toy with a trilby?
I remember when I went on holiday about that time, and I was about 14. My older brother had this leather jacket, and I was on the beach, just in my shorts and that, and I went to get an ice cream or something. I said, "Can I borrow a jacket?" And I put his jacket on, and I was frozen on the beach thinking, they are all looking at me, because I look so good. And I also had a straw Stetson. And I really thought, I'm turning into quite a man.
Yes, I'm quite a catch.
Yeah. Just thinking they're looking, going, who's that dude? Is he American? Has he just come from some sort of rodeo?
Wait a minute, I'm in a bikini, and I like bananas. I could be the woman for him.
Oh dear.
What was that? Didn't you have a t-shirt or a jacket or something you wore to university that was pretty classy? Didn't it have like some foul language on it or something? What was that?
I had when I was this was when I was 18, right? The Christmas or the birthday before I went to university, got two sweatshirts, one black, one red, had bullshit on them. Just on the about. Right. And the red one, all my clothes, the first wash, everything was pink. all my white shirts and my white socks, of course, because I just put it in. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that I was a man at university with all pink clothes except for a rather nice red sweatshirt with bullshit on it. Again, turning into quite a man.
Quite the man. Was that pre or post the time you washed your clothes by getting in the bath? And
that was That was the second year when I was had to go and digs at our Halls residence. So I had a bath, and you had to sort of like pay for a bath, you know. So I thought 2 birds with 1 stone. I got in the bath with all my white shirts, because I was going through sort of, you know, wearing a white shirt and tie, that sort of, you know, David Sylvian sort of fine everything, and Daz. And I just wriggled around in it. I washed myself. It's quite a good exfoliant. I didn't do it again because it was sort of not good for the skin, Dan.
Quite sore, is it, around the more intimate regions?
Yeah. So there you go. Roxy Music and Street Life. Karl,
thoughts?
I just was working out time, really. We've got last week we had a lot of stuff that we didn't manage to cram in,
which was good. So
I'm just looking at we have got Cheap as Chimps coming. Songs of Phrase.
Oh, we forgotten about
some stuff.
Why don't we kick off with that so we don't forget it? Cheap as Chimps or Songs of Phrase or the film thing. We didn't get the film done yesterday.
We've also got a new feature, Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Incidentally, I should just point out now that someone has, Ashley Phillips has emailed in, because obviously with Songs of Phrase, what Karl does, for those that have not heard it, he takes a phrase that you might hear commonly on the show, and then he uses various songs.
There's this hairy Chinese kid. You never see an old bloke eating a Mars bar.
And, as I say, he uses different chunks of songs, and he makes up that phrase. And so he has made some suggestions here, Karl, because he thinks that the more common Karl, you're an idiot, fool, etc., perhaps a little overheard, he'd like to maybe hear Karl, pause, I don't know where to start, which is a common one from Ricky. Karl, which bit of that do you actually think is true? And then there's the regular dialogue between the three of us. Karl, well, you know, it could happen. Me, sure. Ricky, no, Karl, it could never happen. Not now, not ever. You're an idiot, play a record. So maybe some of those you could use next time.
Well, will we get it going then for today?
Yeah.
This week we're, do you remember the story about my auntie having wind for 5 minutes? Yeah?
Your auntie, was it your Auntie Nora?
Auntie Nora, she was on a lot of medication and stuff, and I think that's a side effect that comes with it. So, she had wind for 5 minutes, so I thought we'd dig that one out. A classic line. Me auntie had wind for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I've got loads of songs here.
How many is that?
Me auntie had wind for 5 minutes. 7 tracks.
Oh, that's tricky.
Why do you learn?
Okay, so you need to identify, if you can be bothered, the artists.
Yeah,
that's what we're after, isn't it?
All right.
Okay. Let's go.
Wind.
Alright, we'll play it a few times.
Just remember, as many as you can get, because the winner would probably be, you know, who gets 5 or something. So don't worry if there's a couple you can't get, because you could still probably win.
Here we go again.
Wind.
It is good. Can I just, what's the email address?
It's, well, if they go to xfm.co.uk/Ricky, they can just send them through there and
They can send them through that way. Which of these is the prize bag?
Yeah, don't be getting mixed up.
That's the one, is it, Karl? Yeah. Alright, so let's see what hot treats you could win. As I get them out, Karl, do you want to play it once more?
Yeah.
Wind.
I recognise all of them except one.
Yeah.
Right, let me see what we've got here. Once again, Karl, you excelled yourself with an arbitrary collection of DVDs.
Just hanging around, were they?
Just hanging around. Again, I'm always interested to know which of our XFM listeners has tastes as broad as this.
Go on.
We've got the recent BBC adaptation of The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Brilliant.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
We've
all
got, what's this? This is something involving Air. The band Air. I think it's a single at best.
Yeah.
This is probably worth having. This is the current Flaming Lips album. So you've excelled yourself there, actually, Karl. That's not bad. An XFM mouse mat. They're as common as muck.
Oh, hold on. You can't give away that mouse mat. It's a piece of foam.
Now, I was going to dismiss the oddball sci-fi movie K-Pax featuring Kevin Spacey and Jeff Bridges, but Karl, is it signed by Kevin Spacey?
It's signed, yeah. It's an actual. So win that and put it on eBay for £4.50.
And. Man alive.
What is that?
Just look at their faces.
No, Karl! Don't give that. No one wants that unless it's ironic.
series 1 and 2 on DVD of popular northern-based sitcom Bread.
Buy it, sell it, the game's getting hard, because someone's dealing you a losing card.
Alright,
They all had a go, all the actors had a line on that song. Oh,
play the clips again.
play the clips again, they really want to win it now.
Here we go.
I can't believe this hasn't been done before.
It's extraordinary.
Alright.
Because most of our ideas have. Verve, Lucky Man on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
The emails, I should point out, aren't flooding in on the
No, but it
competition.
always takes time when they go through the website.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll be arriving in a bit.
Do you want to play it once more for those that have just joined us?
Alright then. There you go.
Brilliant,
My auntie had wind for 5 minutes.
brilliant, genius.
Name the artists. Rick, I sometimes get off at the Tube at Tottenham Court Road if I want to look at the record shops before I
Yeah.
come into XFM, and I always cut through Chinatown.
Oh yeah.
And every time I come to Chinatown, the same thought always strikes me. I always feel like I want to just gather all the little locals, all the little Chinese fellas, just gather them round and just go, guys, in what way is this a town?
It's not, is
This is not, at best, what you've got here is a novelty street.
Yeah, Gerrard Street is not a town,
No,
mate.
it's not a town. You've had this here
Just
for like
'cause you put a
100
little
years. It's not
pagoda.
expanding.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't just call it Chinatown and claim it's a town.
If I was them though, and you do that, I go, what are you talking about? It is a town. It is a town. It's
What, in
our
what
town.
way?
It is a town. It's our town. We got all lots of stuff.
Where's your church? Where's your mayor?
We needed. We got a betting shop.
Not enough.
It is.
See, all you've got here is restaurants.
No,
that's not a town.
no. Got a little supermarket with snacks.
What does it sell?
Snacks.
Specifically, I would imagine crackers.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to buy a dragon? Do you want to buy an ornamental dragon?
If I wanted to buy one, this is where I would.
Do you want to buy a gold dragon?
Is it made of gold?
No, it's made of plastic, but it's sprayed gold. Do you want to buy that?
It's not a town.
It is a
It's
town.
not a town.
Yeah.
And it annoys me because when I first came to London, I genuinely thought Chinatown was going to be this amazing, what they've got there is
You'd hear a gong and
yeah,
every time you went in there,
and there'd be rickshaws and people walking on those little sort of wooden shoes. You know those ones? They're brilliant. They are just comping around in them, but nothing. It's nothing.
Hats.
It's just. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just reminds me of, have you ever been to any of those sort of museums? You tend to have them up north, where they've got like, you sort of sit in a little cart and it sort of rides you through kind of, I don't know, it might be,
Newcastle,
the Victorian era.
Yeah. Can I have half a pound of those sweets, please?
Exactly.
Of course you can.
If there was some animatronic then, it would just be an exhibit.
Yeah. Their concession of being 100 years ago is that there's some scales in the shop and there's a horse outside.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The traditional sounds and smells of old England.
And the voice of going, of course, there was no television.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Brilliant. Yeah.
Haven't they got
Welcome to Chinatown.
Ding, 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 ding.
So it's not. Yeah, it's a good point.
Is that a piece of traditional music? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Is that some traditional Chinese music, or is that music that someone in this country wrote, thinking it sounded like Chinese
I
music?
think it was the. Was it the Vapors? Wasn't it?
Oh, is that what it is? That? Because it sounds different. That's the music, isn't it? But are you sure they didn't take that from some other source?
it's that pentatonic scale, isn't it? What is it called? It's the black notes on the piano.
Right, that's the one I can play along with EastEnders.
Yeah.
Do you know what I don't get with it?
Go on.
Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown, because I always walk through it on the way to work. A couple of things annoy me. First of all, I think it's bad business, just because if you've got a Chinese restaurant, put it somewhere where there isn't any others.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, but it's also a community. They're not just a theme park for other people.
I remember going out one night with Suzanne and some friends, and you got there and there's so much choice. It's that dilemma of, oh, forget it.
Well,
And
not
we went
really.
somewhere
Specifically,
else.
do you fancy Chinese?
Well, no, but
No,
why don't you go to the one with the dead ducks hanging in the window? That's my
That's the
favourite.
other thing as well. It's like, normally you put your good stuff in the window. If that's what's in the window. Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that annoys me, walking through it today, there's always lard on the floor.
What, in the street?
In the streets.
It is, honestly. I'm scared I'm going to slip over. It's because all the restaurants and that. But why why is it? Oh, that's another point.
Well, it's not oozing out of the restaurants.
No, but why is it? Why is it?
I don't know what they do.
Careful. Listen, no, but why is
That's why they used to wear those little wooden shoes.
No, okay, we've got...
No, but the thing is as well, they try and wash it with water, which doesn't work with lard, and it's like oil.
Famously, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even I know that.
Yeah, you've got to scrub it.
So,
you think
sorted that out.
Yeah.
You think they'd know, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, thanks for your thoughts on Chinatown, Karl.
Right, I'm going to play this thing again, because it is a bit slow today, the email.
Yeah. Oh, because it's too hard.
It's not too hard, there's just clips of songs. What are the artists? Email in. XFM.co.uk.
He's getting annoyed because he put the work in and no one's... He's getting annoyed! Oh!
Remember, I think Kevin Spacey and the signed K-Pax DVD is probably the only incentive to try and have a go at that one.
To just think you could win by getting one of them.
Exactly. They're coming in now, okay. This is Electronic. Electronic getting away with it.
Definitely. Do you reckon we'll get away with it? You see, you've worried me now.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's worried me.
My apologies if you're offended at all by my reference to those little wooden shoes. That's not going to help, Rick.
Dear.
That Chinese women used to wear. I don't know if they still wear them.
We've only had one complaint, haven't we? We got from the Sonys, that one about talking about the swan's penis, but.
Yeah.
You know, things about complaints is people complain all the time. It's whether it's upheld because it goes from authority, and then they have to go, oh yeah, look, that was in poor taste or pre-watershed or
some of the things you said on TV though, you must have been stung.
Well, see, I've only had one upheld, one serious slap on the wrist for something I said. But
what was he say? Can you repeat it?
Well, I can. Yeah, I was talking about, and it was a true story. I was talking about this little old man. His daughter was taken to home because he used to fry up bacon and rub it round to get the dog to lick them.
Right. And you got a complaint?
Yeah.
And that was it. That's where you got a complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, he said it on Songs of Praise.
They said it was in poor taste, I suppose.
What other complaints?
The biggest complaint ever on TV, the most complaints ever for anything on TV, was the showing of The Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
Do you know the second? Yeah, the second was I think Anne Robinson putting the Welsh into room 101.
What? Because she didn't like him and that.
Yeah, she just said, well, they're going in the,
She said it slightly more eloquently than that.
Yeah.
I can the people or the place.
I don't know.
I think it was the place and therefore the people.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
No, well, my mum and dad have sort of moved from Manchester. They reside now in Wales.
Oh, yeah.
And it is...
Look at his face, turning his nose up.
No, but it is pretty depressing. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them places that... it's like you go back in time and that when you go there. I mean, maybe the major cities there, maybe Cardiff is alright.
What, even coming from Manchester, it's like going back in time?
It's just, it's like one of them places that it feels like every day is Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's just depressing and grey and slate
Lots of
everywhere.
vickers walking around going, I'm late.
Well, yeah, it is the sort of attitude they have, right? This is true, because my mum and dad live there and that, right? And they love it, it's alright, it's an healthy place to go when you get older and that. But, this is why they don't move on in Wales.
Well, I'd just like to make another... Sorry to any Welsh people listening, we're not saying you don't move on. Karl is.
No, but...
Sorry about the little Chinese shoes again.
The thing is, it's good that, in a way, that they do that, and they don't want to be, like, rushing about everywhere, because the way London isn't that great either, is it? Because it's totally opposite here, right? Yeah. So I'm not having a go. It is a bit dull. I think even people who live there will agree with me, right? But, like, one of the shops that my mum and dad use, right, it's only a little sort of villagey type shop, they can't be bothered staying open for hours and hours, right? Because there's not enough people who use the shop.
Yeah.
So what you do is, they get used to what you buy.
And they leave it out.
They put it in a phone box outside.
They put it in a phone box?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get wet.
So my dad's loving that.
Well,
Once he found that out, it was like, brilliant.
But how is that a bad thing? That's brilliant.
Well, it's not. For other people, it is for my dad. Because he's picking up all sorts of stuff.
Sure. Oh, no, he's not!
Oh, yeah.
He's not nicking other people's shopping.
Well, it's not like nicking, is it? Because it's not theirs yet.
Oh, and you've stitched him up on radio.
Well, of course, because they're going to think, who is there in town with a Manc accent?
Who keeps making phone calls. And is getting fatter.
Yeah.
That's
You stitched him
I
right
love
up
that.
there,
I
Karl.
love that your dad was excited when he found out.
Oh.
I can't believe that he's moved there. He's retired to this little village where it's based on trust and community, and he is abusing it. He's using his scally Manc ways.
Bloody hell, Lakers. There's no bread again.
There's old women
Was
going
empty?
hungry.
Yeah.
Their cats aren't getting fed, and your father is just... I can't... That's obscene. That's obscene.
Oh, I think it's Die Thief. That fella from Manchester.
I don't even think they've got Sky there yet, have they? They can't listen. They won't know what's...
I think you stitched him right up. I hope you have, actually. I hope he goes down for it. I hope he's hounded out of the community like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
They should get burning torches, go up to the
Set fire to his cottage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, well...
He's out of the choir.
Yeah.
Forget about tomorrow. Feeder. Right. Listener, I'm talking to you now. Have you seen these posters around with me and Steve on it, right? It's embarrassing, right? We were mucking around at a photo session, and XFM wanted to do some posters. We couldn't be bothered to do them again, so we let him have this one. Irony comes back to haunt you, and it looks like I think I'm Simon Temple or something, and Steve's alright. But we think that Karl should be in it.
Definitely.
Karl doesn't want to be in it, but it looks like everyone listens to this show for Karl's, basically, innocent stupidity and some great tracks.
Exactly.
They don't listen for us anymore, Steve. So I think it should be a campaign to get Karl on the poster.
Yeah. Well, I should point out that I think XFM are more than happy to have him on the poster.
So it's just him?
You don't want to be on there, do you?
There's no need for me to be on it.
Of course there is.
Why not?
I've got so many emails here as I'm sat during the show reading them. So many emails saying, what does Karl look like?
Well,
I want pictures of Karl.
If you go to xfm.co.uk/Ricky, we've got those film bits on there. Those video mock-ups where I'm part of it. You can sort of...
That's not
see
enough, Karl. People want to see your face. You're part of the show. You're an intrinsic part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you on the poster. Why?
It'll be too much on a poster. They can only take in so much.
What do you mean?
They can only take in so much.
Yeah, it's good with two people.
No.
It's enough.
So what do groups do then?
Well, they haven't...
It's like Ringo Starr is being left off the cover of Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah. Or Rutherford doesn't get in a look in with Genesis.
Exactly.
Well,
It could be outrageous.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Tony Banks, you can't be in this one.
Yeah.
It's just me and you will be very. You see, you look like the Collins, so
but
you've got to be in
I
there.
don't photograph that well either.
You're joking. Is it because you look like a little cue ball because it just shines off the top?
But a lot of people as well. You should dispel the myth. A lot of people think for some reason that you're fat. A lot of people say to me, "Is he fat?"
No, but that's because I haven't got much hair, so it looks like my head's big.
No, they haven't even seen you. They just think from listening to the show that you're fat.
That's because you're northern. They think you just eat chips
Yeah.
and complain about the weather.
Well,
Complain about the south.
I just think you could answer a lot of your critics.
but then you see what I don't like about this world. A lot of people judge people on the way they look.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like you
hey. If only more people thought like that, Steve.
But Karl, you judge people on the way they look.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. But I couldn't with me, could I? Because I don't know what I look like.
What?
If I was listening to me on the radio, I wouldn't be able to say, "Oh, he's a," and slag me off and that, because I don't know what I look like, and I quite like that. Do you know what I mean?
I've lost.
I don't know what
Absolutely
you're talking
lost.
about.
Just believe me, right? I'm right on this one. It's best if you leave it.
Well, we're not going to leave it. We're going to get you on the poster.
Yeah.
I mainly have to see myself on videotape this morning. That's put me
I
even
showed
more
him.
off.
The animal show I did, the show.
Yes.
I'm doing a video, and I did behind-the-scenes footage, and I've got you've seen it, haven't you?
I feel a bit of Karl on there, isn't there? Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
It's lovely. He can't believe it. He said, "Is it playing slow?" Because he's so slow. When I come into the office, going, "All right." That's how you
And
talk.
my head as well. I look like I'm looking into a spoon. I'm not happy with it.
I just think that if we're willing to if Ricky's willing to use his celebrity profile for the sake of the show,
Yeah.
I'm willing to look like let's say a fairly handsome, kind of cool customer. I think the very least, Karl, is that you appear on there as well. You could dress up smart.
Are you worried that you'll look the worst out of all three of us?
Who am I standing next to? Am I next to Steve? I'm fairly confident.
Yeah.
I like the way it's so predictable. You pull the string because you know what it is. It's
You pull the string.
what were we talking about before? I was to tell you, you know the most complaints ever, the Last Temptation of Christ.
I haven't seen it.
Was it? It's Scorsese, isn't it?
It's Martin Scorsese, and I've bought the film actually recently because I was intrigued to see it, but I've not actually watched it. But from what I understand, the reason that it was so outrageous is because it has a whole sequence which shows what it would be like if Jesus had lived his life and not martyred himself on the cross, but lived his life as a human being, part of which is him having sex. And so I think that was chiefly what the outrage was, that it was showing this godly man to be, as human as he was supposedly, because he's supposed to be human as well. So so that's the reason. That was the reason that there was complaints there. I don't know. I haven't seen the film.
Well,
I can't say.
you see him, do you?
You see him having sex, I think, yes.
Although it is an actor, Karl.
Yeah, it's not actually Jesus Christ.
It's not the real Robert Powell. No. It's an actor playing Robert Powell.
Is that, you see, sex on films and all that, right? When I was growing up, I'd be watching... No, I'm just saying an example of this, really, right? When I was growing up as a kid and I'd be, watching films with my dad, right? He'd really be enjoying a film, right? And then a sex scene would happen.
Right.
And he'd go...
On film? Or just behind you?
In the film, a sex scene would happen.
Your brother up to his old tricks again.
And he'd get up and go make a cup of tea, right?
Right.
Typhoon? That he'd stolen from some sort of telephone box?
And, even recently, he thinks it ruins a film. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no need for it to happen, is there, really?
Yes.
Why?
Sometimes it's warranted. If the film itself is
some films it isn't though. Some films it isn't.
Of course, some films it's arbitrary.
I think the films that him and his dad watched together on Channel 5. Probably not. Is it only on Channel 5 in your house?
Let's put it, if you're watching, I don't know, a late night Friday night,
from 1983.
Yeah, Illegal Briefs. A beautiful lawyer has to defend a man who may be a killer. She falls in love with him, but does she know the real man?
Oh dear.
You know what I mean, though.
Lest you forget, of course, that I...
Love Heat. With the bloke that is now in... Go on.
Of course, that I, according to the Internet Movie Database, I once appeared in one of those films, in the film Killer Image, a Canadian film, I believe, from 1989. According to that computer...
it's all wrong,
website.
isn't it?
It's all wrong.
It's all wrong.
Of course it is, yeah. Apparently I was in that, and I played the role of Kirk.
Was it a porn thing?
No, I think it's just an erotic thriller that I supposedly...
You only had a very small part, though, didn't you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
But no, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need to go that far. Say, like in this Jesus programme, right?
Film.
What's it called?
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Just like talking... You know what? What's his name? Is it Ralph in The Simpsons?
Yes.
I draw the kitty cat. It's like talking to that.
Yeah.
No, but right, this temptation thing, right?
Do you know, often we don't get that many complaints on this show. We don't get very many complaints. And I think that's either because there's no listeners, or B, it's because most people agree with Karl, and that terrifies me.
Or they let him off, because it's like, you can plead insanity, you can go mental and kill a few people, but they go, oh, he's a bit backwards.
No, but was it because, they're saying that he was having it away? Or is it because you saw it? What got the complaints?
The complaint was the very suggestion that Christ
it was a blasphemous thing, not the fact that you saw an actor's knob.
So what about if they just cut it down a bit and you saw the little stable door closing?
It wasn't the baby Jesus having sex. It was the grown man.
The stable door shutting.
No, but you know what
the nativity scene?
That is brilliant.
The wise men saying, I can't believe we brought myrrh, we should have brought condoms.
No, yeah. There's 2 for 1 offering, Boots.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking. With frankincense.
It's just that it's always awkward.
Should we apologise now to the Christian church as well? Sorry, the little Chinese fellas, little Welsh fellas, and the little Christian fellas.
We haven't said anything wrong.
No.
It's like, you see, when I was growing up...
Stable door. I love the idea that in Karl's world, he was born in a stable, just thought, well, I love this place. Yeah. I'm just going to stay here the rest of my days.
This is good here. Oh, brilliant.
But when I was watching telly with my mum and dad, I mean, it still happens now, right? My dad will sort of go, oh, ruined. Good film ruined. Right, if some sex scene happens.
But why doesn't he
what are we talking about sex scene? Are we talking about kissing, or are we talking about penetration and then looking at the camera? Going, are you enjoying this, Pilkingtons? What are we talking about? What is sort of extreme levels are we talking about?
Right, last time I was down there, right?
Yeah.
What was it? Meet Joe Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black is a terrible film.
Yeah.
Right? There was good film, and then you know it's going to happen because like the music comes in. Brad Pitt's keeping quiet. A woman's eyeing him up.
Sure.
So my mum, I love that. My mum's worked it out already, and she's going. Anything on the other side, love?
She knows. She knows.
It's something's.
Well, so you can be enjoying a film and you can be an hour and 10 in, and then some spidey senses of one of them can go, should we turn that over? And the other one goes, yeah, all right.
Are you sure it's not them protecting you from scenes of sex? So that what they're thinking is, what if Karl gets the idea to have sex?
Yeah.
That could lead to procreation. We don't want any more like him. We've got to end the line here.
You sure it's not the doctor? Keep calling out going, you are keeping away from women, aren't you?
He must never find out.
Are you sure they're not embarrassed because they're watching a sex scene with their son?
It happens every time, right? There's two things that my mum does, right? It's that, if there's a sex scene on the telly, she'll go, anything on the other side, love? And the other thing she always says, if ever there's anything on the telly with Elvis in it, she goes, oh, I like him, right? And we all know, we sat there, we know what she's going to say next.
Yeah.
So you don't even bother saying why, right? And she goes, he likes fat, ugly people.
He what?
He liked fat, ugly people. He didn't always go for, like, the good-looking fans in the crowd.
What Elvis did?
Yeah.
Right.
That was always the thing. And
I'm sorry, no, hold on. I don't know what we're doing now with our lives, Steve. Right, wait a minute, right. So, your mum says two things, right? She either says...
Is there anything else on the other side?
Or, I like Elvis. There's a pause, because you know what she's going to say next. She says, he liked fat, ugly people. How often does this occur?
Well, because they've got, like, Sky, there's a lot of those channels on. They're like the music channels. So Elvis always comes on. There's either an Elvis film, there's, like, a classic hit by him on...
And she'll go, I like Elvis, he likes fat, ugly people. And what do you mean he liked fat, ugly people?
Is she a fat, ugly person?
Because there's that special Vegas show, isn't he, where he's dancing about, right? And he's got loads of scarves around his neck.
Towels.
Yeah. And, like, he always hands them down to the fat, ugly ones. Right. And I always say it's because they're the fat, they've got a sweaty face because they can't, you know what I mean?
I don't know what world they live in.
I don't know how we've got onto this subject.
What sort of world are you got when you're watching his face? And what do you mean fat, ugly ones? You mean they're in the front, they're sweating a lot because they're a bit chubby?
So she thinks, is giving them a towel because
but
it's like...
he's really going, wipe your face, you're putting me off, you fat cow. Stop sweating near me.
There's another one.
What?
So, hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We haven't slagged off hairy Chinese kids. We slagged off Chinese... We didn't slag anyone off. We just said they really haven't got a town as such, and they wear shoes. What did we say?
Yeah, little wooden shoes.
And what the...
I just don't know how we got onto Elvis and big fat ugly women. I don't know I don't know how we sidestepped from the Last Temptation of Christ.
Did you see that Fat Girls and Feeders
programme?
Go on a minute. Eh?
What's Tom Petty first?
Oh, brilliant. It's a great song. Breakdown.
How many
Tom
other
Petty.
radio shows have talked about Last Temptation of Christ, Chinatown, fat ugly women?
More than 60 minutes.
Exactly. Incredible. Sony Award winning.
Turin Breaks, Painkiller on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
I should point out now, Rick, that the general consensus from the listeners is that Karl should definitely be on the poster.
But I know
obviously.
that. I know.
There's an interesting email
Of course
here.
they should. They're
It just
right.
says, I'd love to see Karl on the poster, especially as I'm watching him on the webcam today, and wearing that shirt, doesn't he look like Charlie Brown? He looks just like Charlie Brown from the Peanuts cartoon.
Oh my god.
That's it. From now on, if anyone ever asks me what
he
Karl
does look like Charlie Brown. It's great because Charlie Brown has got that thing. You've got less features than Morph. It's just a round head and there's human aspects. It's just the bare minimum. When I draw a cartoon of him, it's so easy.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, if I go on the poster, this is what I'm worried about. Where do you go from there?
What do you mean?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Do you know, like before, you were talking about the complaint that a TV channel got about some fella putting bacon? Yeah?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, you were talking about a fella
I didn't put the bacon on, but yeah, I was talking about it here, and they
Yeah.
got a complaint, yeah.
Right. Now, he had to do that to get a kick. Yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? And it's the same for me on a poster. Once they've seen me...
Yeah. And we get sued by the estate of Charles M. Schultz for using without copyright his most popular creation.
Oh,
it's just that if people don't know, it keeps them interested. They don't need to
They're
know
not
what I
tuning in
like.
every week on the off chance that we'll...
They're wondering what you look like.
Yeah, but the ones who are, it just keeps them...
They won't let them down there when they see your picture. It won't let them down. It won't be a letdown.
It's exactly as it should
Leave
be.
it. Anyway,
Yeah.
competition, yeah?
Right, let's get the answers. Let's get this out of the way. Songs of phrase.
Songs of phrase, just in case you just tuned in, it's a new feature we've been doing. We take songs and chop them up and that, and it's a phrase that has cropped up on the show a few times. This week we were going back to the classic "Me Auntie Had Wind" for 5 minutes.
That's the classic.
And let's have a
These are the answers, is
listen.
it? Okay.
Right. So what you had there is you had the knack
Yeah.
with my Sharona.
Uh-huh.
Auntie was some Manson track.
What? You don't even know what it was.
Auntie Everything, I think it's called, some album track, right? Then you had Bill Medley, Jennifer Warnes, I've Had the Time of My
Yeah.
Life. You had Bob Dylan,
Wind.
Wind.
Idiot wind.
Blowing in the Wind.
Oh, Blowing in the Wind, was it?
What was after that? 4. 4 was 2468
4 was Bob Dylan.
Motorway. 2468 Motorway.
Yeah.
Tom Robinson.
Tom
Yeah.
Robinson, yeah. That was the 4. Then you had the 5 from Manfred Man, 5,
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. We wrapped it up with a bit of 5-star
Yeah.
for minute, something about,
Can't wait.
yeah, I can't wait another
Can't
minute.
wait another minute.
So, they're the answers.
Yeah,
We're
well,
looking for someone who, I don't think we got anyone who had them all right, but
Nobody got all 7, although in your little answer list then you only listed 6 because
Yeah.
you got your numbers went out of sync in your own brain. Well done, once again, smooth. I tell you what, Karl, why don't you next week at least write down the answers for yourself?
don't need to.
Well, you clearly do because you just embarrass yourself.
Don't need to. You've proved that you do.
Fine,
Right, okay.
anyway. Well done. I'm going to give it to Paul Tier, PJ Tier, because he got 5 of the 7.
Well
correct.
done.
So he gets.
And he's getting that signed Kevin Spacey
Yeah,
DVD.
if you can just email us your address as well and get them off to you today.
All right.
Brilliant.
That's
Well
what you're
done,
dealing
Paul.
with.
So you've done that competition, that's been put to bed.
Let's have a
we've done-
great tune, Rick, and then what else we got? We got some monkey news.
We've got some
we've got monkey news.
We've got Cheap as Chimps.
We're doing the film thing.
Right.
Got the
You can
film
win-
thing. What
you can
film
win
is it this week?
Silence of the Lambs. You can be owning that by 3 o'clock on VHS.
Is it about $4.99? Is it?
Yeah, thereabouts.
20th century boy. Come on, Mark. Some people want a 21st century boy these days. Mark Bolan there. A little bit out of date on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Right, it's that time again, isn't it? Monkey news.
Yeah, monkey news.
Sure, monkey news.
Right, if you're a new listener, this is where we do a bit of monkey news.
Oh, imagine him giving his chance on a news programme, like News Night Review or News at 10, over to Karl Pilkington. Yeah, alright. Monkey's gone mad again. Go on.
Right, we've done quite a lot of good stuff. The one that sort of kicked up most of the fuss was probably Ollie the monkey.
I love the fact that they're all monkeys. He's a chimpanzee.
Well, right.
It's an ape.
Well, today, right, we're looking at one that's it's called Coco.
Oh yeah, the sign language one.
Well, what I've read about him is he speaks, right? Highly educated.
Yeah.
Photographer.
Karl!
Right?
I love the fact that when he gets a gifted ape, he has to look up to him. He realises that he is superior. I love that.
Right.
Oh.
And it also likes going on computer chat rooms.
I can't take this anymore, Steve. I'm going to be sick. Oh, God.
Which, right, that's pretty amazing.
You know, if an infinite number of monkeys are in an infinite number of chat rooms, they'll eventually type, which is your favourite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Exactly, yeah. Karl Pilkington, you're an idiot.
But the thing is, right, you're saying about the infinite thing again, about monkeys, if you put them in a room with a typewriter, they'll come up with Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I'd sort of agree with that, right, with monkeys who can't do other stuff, but this one I reckon's going to be busy taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
I think monkeys that are boring...
Is there a boring monkey? Would you ever have a chimp and you'd go, Suzanne would go, I've got your birthday present, and it's a chimp fella, he's about, about a sort of like a middle-aged chimp.
No, I'd love it. I'm talking.
Would you ever
behalf
go?
of
I'll tell you what, Suzanne, that one's boring.
No, but I bet the monkey would get bored. I mean, do you know what I mean? The monkey would be bored. I'd be loving it. I'd love to have a little monkey, right? But what I'm saying is,
you really would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you buy him a camera, he'd be happy again, wouldn't he?
well, yeah, but that's just it. You wouldn't get him. It's like if you can do other stuff, you don't want to do the boring stuff.
Forget the typing. Forget the monkey's typing. Talk about this monkey that's a photographer.
No,
what
but we are in a way. I'm just saying that would be happier. Monkeys that have got nothing else to do, if they can't take pictures and that, and they can't go on chat rooms.
They're happy to sit in a room typing away for infinity, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But he's got maybe a little exhibition to put on.
Do you think...
Do you know that most chimps and apes and monkeys still actually just live in trees? These are in laboratories and zoos and things. You know that's not the norm. These monkeys walking around sort of chatting and riding bikes.
Yeah.
You know, that's not natural.
Exactly.
No, I know, but it's...
If you left a bike in the jungle and then came back a few years later, there wouldn't be monkeys riding around on it. And a book. If you left a bike with a book in the basket, right, and you went away for 10 years and you came back, there wouldn't be a whole new transport system and schools.
No.
They'd eat it. They'd throw it round and eat it.
Alright then, so what you're saying is you can't... You see, what I think is, right, and don't take this the wrong way in that, right, Stephen Hawking,
Yes.
right, now he had a bad illness. Now, I wonder if he'd be... I wonder if he'd be as bright as he is if he didn't have that.
Right.
Because he's had time to sit down, he's like, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
They've gone and give him a book. And he read it. I like that. Give us another one.
Yes.
He's got a lot of time on his hands.
Yes.
Now, what I'm saying is, monkeys... Yeah,
Right.
This one here, Coco, which I think was a gorilla,
Right.
right? That wouldn't have been happy on a little keyboard, just doing that all
Typing
day,
away.
because it'd be going, well, I could be out taking pictures.
Sure.
Play a record!
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Play a record!
Yeah.
Done.
You're an idiot!
There it was. There's the catchphrase. Once more.
He is! He's an idiot!
Sure.
Athlete, El Salvador, on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, the amazing Steve Merchant and the incredible Karl Pilkington. Alright? Right, we've done that. Monkey news. Right, straight. Let's hit them dead. Let's go straight with cheap as chimps, Karl.
Right, well, this will probably finish today, to be honest.
Oh,
right? Because what if we looked at Cheap as Chimps, we found out that...
They eat one banana. Next, go on, do this one.
banana a day and that.
Yeah, that's
Right,
it, brilliant.
So what...
It was a long-running feature, go on.
What? Sorry, can I just ask again, what are the rules with cheapest gyms?
It's just, you know, if you wanted a chimp, how much would it sort of cost you?
Brilliant. Title come first?
So, yeah,
Yeah.
as always, that's the way to do it, right? Cheap as Chimps, I thought I'll go online and see, you know, if I could buy one. How much do you reckon?
£6,000.
To buy a chimp?
Yeah.
Oh no, a ridiculous amount. Where can you buy them from? What sources? You shouldn't be able to buy them.
eBay.
What do you mean? Buy a chimp? From who?
There was this website that was selling stuff.
What, you could actually
What are you talking? What are you talking about?
Right, here we go then, right? I looked at it. Here's some of the other animals that were on there.
No, wait a minute. What, are these poachers?
I don't know.
What, zoos that got bored with them? Where can you buy a chimp?
I don't want to give it a plug.
Right,
Some
go on then.
website, right?
So what are the other animals available?
Right, well, that'll give you some prices with the other animals, then you can try and work out if it's cheap as chimps, right? So, right, a camel. What do you reckon?
£25,000.
Right, $8,000 for a camel, right? Sloth,
40 quid.
$3,000.
Right.
Last one, Bengal tiger,
Oh, that's got to be pricey. $12,000.
$1,800.
What?
Yeah.
Karl, this is an awful website. That can't be true, mate.
Right,
That's
so
awful.
a chimp.
Well, a chimp.
$5,000.
I'm going to go with $1,000.
55,000.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
But I don't know what to say, because this is rubbish anyway. What website can you buy? Okay, get me a tiger. Here's $1,000. Get me a tiger.
Well, I don't know.
You're an idiot.
If postage and packages and.
Sorry, so where does the cheapest chimps element come in?
Well, that's.
Aren't you supposed to shout, it's cheap as chimps at the end?
Well, it isn't. That's why I want to finish the feature.
I don't know what is the most cheapest chimps.
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing broadcasting.
So
we're up for a Sony Award, aren't we? I hope they're listening, because it's ours.
Yeah,
I mean, it must, with features like cheap as chips, it's ending because they're not.
It's in the bag.
And do you remember? Here's Athlete.
Can't stop the spirit when I need you. This life is more than just a read-through.
Can't stop the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, I've got news for you, boys. I don't want to stop you. I love your funk rock fusion. Word of warning: no nudity. Repeat: no nudity at this gig.
I do it like you. I think you should host a whole show like that. It's lovely. Have you ever done any like DJ, like proper DJing, like in a pub or a club? Because I know Karl had his own. I had my own disco when I was a kid.
Yeah, not proper. I had a gig once when I had to. It was 2 nights a week in the local pub. Just the 2 decks that was in a suitcase. You know, those sort of all-in-one thing. And they just wanted the same records. They wanted Rod Stewart, Baby Jane. They wanted about 11:15 when they were all drunk. They wanted Don McLean's American Pie, which they all sang along to.
Yeah.
Uptown Girl they liked.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't used to do the talking.
Did you do the patter?
No, I couldn't. I just
don't
understand it. I just love those wedding sort of DJs that they have to give you extra information. They can't just play a song. They have to say things like, "Ooh, all the way back there in the Commodore's easy." It's sort of like they have to tell you something. Who's listening? They're just going to play the next record.
It's
a wedding. Yeah.
It's like there's like the controller of a local radio station listening. It just happens to be at the wedding, thinking, "Hang on,
hold on, he's played a record, but he's got extra information." Well, they should do useful things at a wedding, like will the overweight aunt in the purple dress please now take the floor with little unfortunate kid and let him hop around.
As the dance floor is currently empty, will any 8-year-old boys wearing those tiny tuxedos please slide across the dance floor on their knees until they are taken home and put to bed early?
I went to one once. And the bloke who'd hired it went to the DJ, and this DJ that had come with this sort of party wanted a 70s disco, and he looked like Woody Allen, right? And I was sure he used to be a gentleman's outfitters, like, and he said, "Oh, I wanted a 70s disco," and he went, "Well, I've got Bicycle Race by Queen lined up, I've got ELO, and I've got Cliff We Don't Talk Anymore." So, and he went, "Well, I went sort of more disco." He went, "I don't really want to blow all my Earth, Wind and Fire before 10. But it's like all planned.
There is a rule. There are rules. Will the 17-year-old girl who's dressed like Avril Lavigne please tut loudly because I still haven't played anything by Linkin Park?
Will the 45-year-old woman recently divorced please cry now?
Yeah,
please cry now.
Please cry now because it's clear you're never going to find another man. Because you used to be a DJ, didn't you? Because there is a sort of rule. Definitely, I remember there was like, you know, what I learned was that there are certain tunes you just do not play early on. Oh, What a Night, for instance.
Dun, 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 yeah.
People, you never play that before like 11. You want that last hour before they've got to go home to be non-stop dancing.
When would you pop on Dancing Queen?
Interesting, thanks for that. Is there a buffet being served?
Yes.
Yeah, well, definitely post-buffet. I remember there was great days. I was reminded this recently by ITV's Reborn in the USA. There was a great time where you could come out of the buffet or any kind of speech with a bit of Gina G. I remember there was a great period for a couple of years where that was always a barnstormer.
Sure.
But sadly, no longer the case. What about, because the danger is, of course, you go back to the 70s, maybe you got Dancing Queen, but how many do you play before you come into the 80s with perhaps Billie Jean?
Or Soft Cell.
Soft Cell's always a classic, yeah. I'd love to hear that. And, because there's always controversy now, as to whether Love Shack is overplayed. I know that's a big discussion now.
I've never liked it. I just like, will any 35-year-old men please now dance ironically to Bombastic in the vain hope that someone would actually find them attractive? Love Shack? Oh no, never liked
Come
it.
on, Eileen?
I never, yeah, alright. I just never liked any records that with a hint of novelty about them.
They are popular though, they're floor fillers.
I hate them.
You haven't done DJing, have you?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Singing on the other side of your face.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Not
you didn't play
popular.
Dexter's Midnight Runners?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan it out that much when I did it. It was like, I knew I had the tights and cigars to give away.
Which he stole from his parents' bedroom beforehand. Yeah. Why were you giving away stuff at a disco anyway? Why weren't you just playing records?
Because people liked it, didn't they? If it wasn't...
It hasn't changed. We're doing this. We talk rubbish, we play records, and we give away crap that we found. Yeah. It hasn't changed, does it?
And, so I had some good times. I mean, for people who haven't been listening all the time, it was called Pilkington Making Music.
Yeah,
it was like Pilkington, and my mate was called something Making, and the music was what we played. Yeah. Right? And I had some cards made, had some nice blue glossy cards made, but they were quite expensive. Yeah. So I used to hand them out, and then they'd say cheers for that, and say, no, write it down. Write the number down, I want that back. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because they were quite pricey.
Yeah, right? yeah. Classy businessman there.
I think Richard Branson used to do that.
I think so, yeah.
Saved a bit of money, because my dad made some lights for me. He just like...
He said he made them, he found them in a telephone box. People were making phone calls in the dark. Round the neighbourhood.
Exactly.
It was just white bulbs in like a box, and like my mate making, he used to just flick them on and off, like the thing, and then they'd be in time with the music and that. And,
perfect.
Well, you had to sit there and flip the
love
lights
that.
on
I
and
love
off.
that. We got our sound to light system. What's his name? Colin.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right. So.
Did you ever rent him out?
Right. Well, we never had any disasters, right? But my mate did one. Right. And I don't know if it's that funny, really, but it. Go on. I'll tell you anyway. Right. He was doing this gig, and it was probably one of the biggest gigs that he ever had. Must have been a couple of 100 people there. Yeah. And in like a big sort of warehouse thing. Anyway, for some reason, there was some problem with a big speaker that fell, right? So, the police turn up and stuff.
Right.
And they try to control the night, and they're going, can everyone sit down? We try to control it. Can you sit down? So anyway, you get a few, like, little groups of people sitting down on the floor, and people were still stood up, and the police were saying, look, you know, we're going to cancel this whole night if you don't all sit down, and more people are sort of sitting down. It's going on for about 20-odd minutes, right? Will you please sit down? And it gets to this point when there's just one lad stood up in the middle. And he's going, look, you're ruining it for everyone. Will you sit down? And it goes quiet for a bit, and someone's muttering something. And he goes, the lad standing up has got calipers on his legs. Can we have a round of applause for the kid?
Who said that?
It was this lad who was doing the DJ. He was the DJ. So, like, they kept the police and everything were saying, well, you sit down, you're ruining it for everyone else.
Dear. You know, the quick way to sort that out would have been to play
James.
Or sit down. Yeah.
But most of mine I had good nights. Yeah. Always got rebooked and stuff. And
I had a bunch of Venture Scouts went mental once, had a food fight.
What were you playing to Venture Scouts for?
Well, we got booked by everyone, Rick. We started with weddings and local, things, but we soon went up. At one point we played a massive gig in a big tent in the middle of nowhere for some scouts, and they absolutely loved us. Rage Against the Machine. Oh, they couldn't believe their luck.
Do you know when they say weddings and bar mitzvahs? Do they get a lot of discos playing bar mitzvahs? Is that a big? I don't know. So. What happens at a bar mitzvah?
Well, I've not never been to a bar mitzvah.
Could someone phone in if you've had a little bar mitzvah? Tell me what it was like. What did you play at bar mitzvah? I don't know what the occasion is really. It's becoming a man, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. We learned something, won't we, Karl?
Yeah, all right. Do you want them to phone in?
Yeah.
Do we?
Well, I want to know if they really do have DJs at bar mitzvahs.
All right.
Oh wait,
how interested are you in that?
Well, I don't want to embarrass myself one day.
Sure.
It's Karl, you've got to learn, haven't you?
I'll tell you what, have we got time for the film thing as well?
Yeah, play the film thing now.
No, let's play a tune. Let's play a great tune. Oh, I can't believe my luck.
Better Cure?
Yeah.
Our titzva.
Right, I'm just going to add to the list of people we've offended. Sorry to Jewish people as well.
Yeah, we've got to...
So sorry to Jewish people, sorry to Chinese people, sorry to Welsh people.
Ugly fat women.
Well, don't put the Welsh in twice. Sorry to Elvis fans.
Elvis fans. Animal lovers.
Animal lovers. Brilliant. Well, lovers of great radio.
Yeah.
That was, music lovers. Good, well, sorry about that.
Apologies to all of you.
Yeah, and,
we haven't even had time for, we haven't got time for the film thing this week.
Oh, why not?
Just, it's running tight, really.
Are you sure?
We haven't done Cheeky Freak of the Week.
That's a new feature, isn't it?
That's a new feature.
Cheeky Freak of the Week. Let's do Cheeky Freak of the Week. What is the cheekiest freak of the week? So I'm just going to apologise now. I've just had freaks. Sorry to freaks. Okay, right, go ahead.
Well, I say it's a new feature, but we've sort of touched on it in the past with...
We always talk about freaks.
Hairy Chinese Kid.
Yeah.
We've had the Pillow Man.
Yeah. Oh, you called a draft excluder.
Just make a note of that, would you, Rick, on the list?
People without arms and legs.
But at least, you see, the Pillow Man, what do you picture? Because I was saying to Ricky in the week, right, I'm a great fan of the Elephant Man.
That's his, that's his favourite freak.
Of
the
all
Elephant
the
Man.
freaks, that's
Do you know why he said? Do you know why he said? He said because you get what you pay for. When someone says the Elephant Man, you get what it says on the tin. Right. You know you're going to get it.
Yeah. Do you imagine, Steve, if you had a mate and you said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to go see my mate. And you go, which mate? And he said, the Elephant Man.
Yeah.
Straight away, you haven't even met him, but you know what he's going to look like.
Yes.
Right? That's what I like about that. Hairy Chinese Kid.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get.
Pillow Man.
Yeah.
Not so good.
What does that mean?
It could be one of those big fat things on that show, couldn't it? A big pillow, like a...
Yeah.
You know, you know that big thing about the fat people and feeders? They were getting up to like 60 stone and that big one. And there's a thing called fat admirers that just fancy fat women, right? And
You writing that down?
yeah, sorry, and they had blow up versions. It looked like a bouncy castle.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. You'd be knackered when you blew that up.
Yeah,
you just wouldn't want to go forget it.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Well, that's people being cruel as well, isn't it? Because after watching the programme on Channel 4 about the fat people and fellas who like them and stuff, there was a story on one of the news websites about some fella in Germany, right? He was a big fella, must have been about 50 stone, and he fell over, right? And I think he hurt his ankle or something. And
timber.
they sent firemen instead of like an ambulance.
Yeah.
So straight away they're having a bit of a laugh.
They're not. No, they've got winching gear.
Well, they didn't know. They didn't have winching gear. They had to use the hose pipes
What?
to carry him out. I think it was Anna Nova, that news website. They had to use the hose pipes, so they made like a bed using the hose pipes.
Oh yeah.
And had to carry him out on that. And then they had to sort of get him into a special truck, they said.
Mm-hmm.
And do the same when they got to the hospital. I mean, that's a bit...
That's mad, isn't it?
They shouldn't do that.
Although, Karl, I'm loving that story. I'm just worried that we're not going to be able to fit in Cheeky Freak of the Week.
What's
so
the
which
Cheeky
is the one
Freak of
you've
the week?
nominated?
Alright, Cheeky Freak of the Week. Something I found on the net.
Yeah.
Fella who had 27 toes and fingers.
In a jar.
No, still on him. And proper ones as well, not like little stumps and that. Proper, fully formed fingers. He
Was
had
it-
like...
Was he a pianist? Close-up magician.
I don't know what he did. He just said that he was...
Cat's cradle professional.
Did he ever work on finger bobs?
He was saying in the week.
For the crowd scenes.
I'm now going to do Braveheart. He said about the Elephant Man. He said, I want to do a thing right with freaks where it's good and bad. He went, what did you said? The pro about him is...
What about the fella with loads of fingers, or...?
No, the Elephant Man.
Well, he...
He said the bad thing is he stretches his jumpers.
When he puts them on.
Yeah.
And what's the good thing?
Sort of... He never gets up and goes, oh, my hair's a bit of a mess today.
No. He's always having another bad face day.
I'd like to complain about this head and shoulders. Are you taking the piss? Yeah. Oh, dear.
So that's freaky...
Didn't you see an elephant woman in Manchester?
Yeah, leave that.
What do you mean, leave it?
No, because it is sad.
I know it's sad, but I mean, I don't know what my next sentence is.
No, people always
That
think...
should be the end.
I don't need to say anymore, people will know what she looks like. It's a good name for her.
Did she like buns? Oh dear.
It was when my dad was a taxi driver and I used to sit in the front.
Yeah.
And she used to get a lot of taxis.
Yeah.
And
he only charged you half price, didn't he? He was a good guy.
well, the bad thing is as well with people like that, you don't want to offend them because they never forget.
Oh, Karl!
But
Karl Pilkington.
I was sat in the front of the cab, and my dad goes, "Right, we're going to go and pick the, I can't even tell you the name of these guys, just evil." Right?
What do you mean?
No, leave it. So she's got...
No, Karl,
please.
tell me what he said.
No.
You've already stitched him up with Stephen things from Little Welsh
I
Fellas.
don't care.
Right, what did he call her?
Steve, back
No!
up on this. I really
Karl,
don't want
to be fair, our opinion of him is already pretty low.
Look, tell me what he said.
No, it's not. I'm scared of what my dad gets. It's the person who's got the
She's
thing
not
wrong.
listening, is she?
Well, her headphones wouldn't fit on her head.
Tell me what he called her.
I don't want to.
Tell me what he called her, Karl. I'm getting angry, man. Tell me what he called her.
No, I'll leave that. Honestly,
Tell me what he...
It doesn't matter.
Tell me what he called her. Karl, just... I'm going to go...
Seriously, I want to know what he called her.
Right, you're not going to stop this show. We're not doing the next show until you tell me what he called her.
What did your father call the elephant head woman?
Tell me.
Spudhead.
How old were you?
I don't know, about 9.
So did you expect to see a potato with a dress?
He did sort of, again, it's a good name. Do you know what I mean? They had an idea of what it was going to be about, and he said, "Do you want to stay in the car? I'll take you home because you can't."
Spudheads, you got lovely eyes.
Can't.
Come on, man.